ECW, CyberSlam, 1997. Last up until the first ever pay-per-view, barely legal. But boy howdy, this is quite the go-home show. We got match of the year candidates, we got champions all over the place. It's the coming out party for a lot of new guys too, like Chris Candido, Balls Mahoney, Chris Chetty, Tracy Smothers. There's no bears on this show, but there is a really long-winded Wildfire Tommy Rich promo. So the show really has anything and everything that you would possibly want from a wrestling program. So why don't you just stick your caboose right there and take a listen, a watch, a tweedle on the nipple from the Apron Bump podcast.
The hardest, talk around and disregard it. Strip you off the ground, show you what hard is. Standing strong and proud, nothing can knock this. Let's get it started.
What is up, everybody? Howdy, howdy, howdy. Glad to have you here. Welcome to the Apron Bump podcast. I, of course, am your host, the hardest part of the ring, Kyle. How's everybody doing today? Glad to have you here. Very topical show today, huh? Very topical show. I don't know if anybody's been keeping abreast with the current product, as they say. NXT will be taking place at the 2300 Arena, formerly known as the ECW Arena, which is where this little show we're reviewing takes place November 6th. So what better way to wet your whistle, yeah, than taking a little journey down memory lane to the good old days of the ECW. Like I said in the cold open, we're building towards barely legal. This is going to be the last super show we cover. So the next episode of ECW will be the first ever pay-per-view, but we have a lot to get into on the way there. The road there is pretty perilous, as they say. We got all the cast of characters that you like to see. RVD and Sabu face the Eliminators and a crazy ass fucking tables, ladders, stairs, all the stuff, right? Lots of interesting kind of new. We got Balls Mahoney's here. He's still figuring things out. Chris Candido's in the main event against Sabu, which is an interesting spot. He's never had that spotlight on him before. And the Dudleys are here. Sandman's here. Big plots pivot with the Sandman story with Raven. So this show's pretty loaded. So I'm not going to dilly-daddle. Let's get right into this. But first, before we do that, got to give a big old smooch on the cheek and a shout out to my guests on this episode. Handsome Kevin, Duke Bags from the Year of Duke and Rogue podcast, returning to the show. Always a hoot and a holler with these boys. Hilarious time as always. Go check out the Year of Duke and Rogue podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts. They do it in seasons, so they'll take a certain timeline of a certain promotion in time. So like right now, they are covering WWF from WrestleMania 17 to 18. So they'll do it that way. They'll cover a year of wrestling from a certain promotion chronologically every season. Every season they'll change it up. They've done TNA, they've done WCW. They do a lot of stuff, various different eras and promotions. So of course, if you enjoy the Apron Bump, which is a very similar thing, you will enjoy the Year of Duke and Rogue podcast. Go check them out. Like I said, wherever you listen to podcasts, all their socials and all that whatnot will be in the description below. Also, check out Kevin on the Shining Wizards podcast, live every Monday night, 7 Eastern. Also, wherever you listen to podcasts, YouTube, all that happy horse shit. You can find me on the Shining Wizards too, every third Monday of the month. October was a little different. You know, I had to go to Tampa, see Hulk Hogan. But as you're listening to this, I was on, as of this episode dropping, I was on the most recent episode of the Shining Wizards, where we had just a hoot, just jerking each other's puds. I'm recording this before I actually went on there, but I can only assume it was a raucous laughter abound everywhere with everything I said. So no, it's always fun doing that. So check out the Wizards. Check out the Year of Duke and Rogue. And hey, why don't you check out the end of this podcast where the hardest promotion, Battle of 1997, continues, where we pit WWF versus WCW versus ECW. We look at the best, the worst, the medium, I don't know, best wrestlers, storylines, all of this stuff. We break it down into lots of different criteria with points associated to different things. Because at the end of 1997, whichever promotion has the most points, I will purchase a championship belt of that respective promotion, as you can see by the Intercontinental Championship behind my right shoulder. WWF won in 1996. Who will win in 1997? Well, doesn't look good for WWF right now, but we'll see what this show changed for ECW, if they got any of the best, the worst, what have you. So stay tuned for that. And one more thing before we get into it. If you like this type of episode, you like this era of wrestling, you like this era of ECW, if you just like this era of wrestling in general, I suggest you go to the link in the description to bring you to apronbump.com, where all of these chronological episodes are laid out for you. You can go to apronbump.com, go to the episodes tab, you can select Wrestling Wars of the 90s, and that'll lay out all the WWF, WCW, and ECW shows I've covered chronologically up to this point, starting at WrestleMania 10 all the way through now. Or if you just want to filter it down to ECW, you can do that as well. Binge away. It's always a good old time. Check it out and check this here episode out. Why don't you? You're already here. You might as well just keep it running, right? ECW, CyberSlam, 1997, with myself and Kevin and Duke from the Year of Duke and Rogue podcast. God damn it. I don't know if I got that.
It was you. I think it was you that got me sucking my dick. Somebody sucking my dick.
Well, now I just got a few more. So we're going to have a whole montage scheme.
You're going to have to figure it out. Put on our super sleuth hat, right? Maybe we can contact Detective Dougler and we'll find out.
Detective Dougler. Never forget, man.
Sucking my dick.
He's on the prowl in this one.
Gosh. Not a good prowl. Not a meow kind of a prowl. You know?
But not too far away though. Not incredibly far away from Randall.
Pretty far away.
Huh. Well, that's a thinker.
Meow. That's specifically for Leia. Meow.
Yeah, the words there was a lack of meow on this show. Now that I'm thinking about it,
there was no meow. Yeah, which is a letdown for me.
It's kind of the reason to tune in. I feel like see a little clam action.
Yeah, the reason for the season is pleasing, and somebody's sucking my dick.
That's actually a really good point. I never really thought of it that way.
You haven't?
No, you just put together words so well.
I do.
That's why I keep bringing it on.
Gotcha. I just figured that you were just a self-serve man.
I can be.
Yeah.
You know.
Every now and again, you got to get them to pay at the pump.
Right.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
I'll take your word for it.
I'd tell you a better story, but we're recording. So.
Yeah, I mean, what's the worst that could happen, right?
Fuck's on your shirt? Is that a coaster? Is that a shirt of a coaster?
Yeah, why don't you come put your fucking asshole on it?
I would fucking love to, but I think we had the opportunity to, and you were all, I got a family.
That's what prevented me from putting asshole rings on your chest?
You are something else. I got a family.
Oh, what an asshole. Oh, my God.
Yeah. Hand job, do you realize that you were like 20 minutes away from me? 20 fucking minutes.
It's too far. It's too far, man. You could do
I offered to drive, you asshole.
No, it's a whole. You're not sure. It's my wife's side of the family, and now we got this weird guy in a hat showing up. It's like,
oh no, I wasn't showing up at your wife's. I don't do family stuff.
Well, that's the only place I was at.
I'll go family style, but I ain't doing family stuff. So what I'm saying there
is that like step brother? Is that what we're talking about?
Step brother,
doing family stuff, or is that like a lot, like family sized?
No. What I'm telling you right now is that if it was a family gathering, I wouldn't be there. Right. Just not a family man. I don't even have one of my own. That's how much I don't like them.
Oh, okay. You just said like no, thank you.
Yeah, I'll take a pass. Yeah, I'll take a pass.
Can't really blame you.
Yeah, Duke's got a great big family.
Oh yeah,
tons of family. Yeah,
a lot of siblings.
No.
Oh, thank God.
One, I actually have more sisters than he does. I have more siblings than he does. Yeah, but it's we'll let him. He can tell his own stories. Right.
I'm good. I'm going to ask him about his family with no context as soon as he gets in here.
And Duke will answer you nice and honestly like he always does.
I bet he will. I have no doubts about that. When it comes to Duke, honesty is never the concern.
No. Timeliness, sure.
Right, yeah, maybe tardiness.
Right. Yeah. 601.
In a couple different ways. We got tardy and tardy on the show.
Right. Gotta write it down, motherfucker. Go tell the mayor. Gonna have a little bit of the bubbly.
Oh, just bubbly, huh? Oh, you're one of those gals.
Yeah, man.
Is that probiotic soda?
No, that's poppy, dipshit. This is bubbly.
You're getting hot at me for it. I'm just asking a question.
Well, you called me a gal, and then you misgendered my drink of choice here. So
I misgendered your drink. Sorry, I thought it had a cock on it.
I feel like I should kick in the pronouns.
Some may like that. I'm a big Tony Atlas fan, if you know what I'm saying. Wait, that's his face. He only likes being stomped on his face, right?
That's his thing, yeah.
Not his dick, as far as we know.
God.
Or his Pekka. What do you call it in the Vince doc?
He does Pekka. Maybe he's into that.
Tony Atlas or Duke? Tony Atlas. Or maybe both.
Maybe both, yeah.
Maybe that's what I should open up with.
Start with the family and then lead into,
I mean, they tie in so seamlessly. One always leads to the other.
On the Pekka. Well, yeah, of course it does. Wasn't that last time we spoke? Wasn't that the whole thing, like bonding with your dad over plowing the same broad? That was the last time you and I spoke in the air.
You know what? I don't recall, but I believe you.
I think that's what it was. Yeah, I think so. Should I message this Pekka?
Tony Atlas? Yeah. I mean, if Duke can't make it, we can just sub in Tony Atlas.
We will not sub in Tony Atlas.
Oh, he would have a lot to say about this show, I'm sure.
I don't think anything. No. I don't
Chris Candido.
God, it's a fucking guy. This fucking guy. Did you watch Legends House?
No.
You didn't?
Do I need to?
You have to, man.
I've seen some snippets of it.
It's pure entertainment, start to end. And then, like, my wife was like, well, I feel bad because nobody likes Tony Atlas. I was like, well, he's a fucking dick.
Is that why?
Picking fights with Hacksaw Jim Duggan. You have to be a dick if you're picking fights with Duggan.
Cast of WWE Legends House. Let's see here.
So Duke says he'll be right there. He's just going to take a piss and grab a beverage.
Thick piss.
Yeah,
Duke's the dumpster.
Taking a piss while I listen to Kiss.
Piper, Tony Atlas. Okay, that's when Pat Patterson came out, right?
Oh, yeah.
I see.
Mean Gene's there.
Oh,
Jimmy Hart.
What a cast of characters. Why won't you just show me the cast? Okay. Tony Atlas, Jim Duggan, Roddy Piper, Jimmy Hart, Fink, Hillbilly Jim. Man, 10 years ago.
It's a good watch. I'll tell you what else. It is entertaining enough that, like, my wife will watch it. Like, she enjoys watching the show.
I bet.
How old are you, by the way? What are you 28? 30?
No, 31.
31. Okay.
Yeah.
So you got like 2 good boner years left.
I've never really had a good boner year, if I could be honest.
Okay. I like that you're being honest.
Yeah.
But trust me, man, you're going to wake up one day and you're like, man, remember having a great boner? What happened? Used to have rebar in my pants. I had rebar. And now you're working with a fucking thawed corn dog.
A thawed?
Yeah, not even cooked. Not even cooked. Just thawed.
I feel like that's still relatively stiff. No, I feel like I could shove one of those in my keister if I really had to.
Well, you could. But it's not going to be any fun for either one.
Better than frozen. I mean, that just sounds like a nightmare. Or maybe the coldness adds to it.
The coldness, yeah.
That is a thing, right? People put ice like around their pecker and their.
Oh yeah. People do that.
Maybe there's something to it.
Maybe there's something. Of course, there's something to it. If there was nothing to it, people wouldn't do it.
Well, so that's not very true.
Really good. What if you dip your balls in ice and do hot candle wax on the old rod? Right?
Yeah.
Little mixture.
Why don't you tell me?
Little mixture.
Seems like you have the entire process down. So why don't you tell people?
You don't want to dip your bules in the wax and ice the rod, man. That's not going to do anything for anybody.
Wait, hold on. Balls and ice, rod and wax.
Yeah.
Do we just reach homeostasis and it just kind of cancels each other out?
I think there's some type of a weird nirvana you're going to hit.
It smells like something. Yeah. Interesting.
Well, I guess while we're waiting, let me ask you this, because I asked this to one of my best friends in the world.
Please.
Like people wax hair, right? You know about this.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
So you ever think about waxing your ball sack?
No.
Okay.
Not even a little bit.
You've never thought about it. Okay.
I would wax literally every other part of my body before.
Right.
I'd wax my asshole before my ball sack. And my asshole's not even that hairy, if I could be frank.
Right. Yeah. And see, the concern that I have is the stretch, right? 'Cause again, older, right?
Right.
Mine clap when I run up the stairs. So like, would you like when you go to rip, right?
You gotta make it taut, right?
How do you make it? How do you do it at this point?
Yeah.
Right. See, you'll know what I'm saying in a couple of years. Trust me.
Well, I don't think I'm ever gonna know, because I don't see myself doing that ever. Are you waxing your own ball sack, or is it one of these Chinese massages?
I don't think it matters who.
Well, if you have control over it, you can kind of like, force in the opposite direction, then you pull in the. It's a whole science thing. I can draw you up a diagram if you need me to, but but a rogue waxing of the ball sack from a third party or second party,
or yourself, man.
I feel like there's a lot of things I'd rather do in life.
Yes. Of course, there's a lot of other things you'd rather do in life, but in this scenario, I just want you to focus on this. Have
you already done it?
No.
Is that why you're asking?
Yeah.
Are you considering doing it?
I don't see myself doing it. Right. I don't. I'm a hairy guy. Right. I'm a hairy guy. So I don't think, and the damage that could be done might not be,
So like when you're eating a chicken leg, right? And a skin on it.
Vegetarian.
Oh, when you're eating a cauliflower leg, right?
Yeah. Yep.
But you're aware of chicken legs, right? They have the meat,
of course,
the skin on it.
Yeah, yes.
You pull it apart. Sometimes just the skin comes off, and then you're left with like skin in one hand, and then there's a big ball of meat in the other hand. That's kind of what I'm picturing. Scrot. The scrot is removed. Testicles remain.
Like a separation of church and state, really.
Kind of, really, when you think about it.
Yeah.
It's kind of exactly like that.
Huh. How much would it take for you to do it?
Not a lot. I mean, $20 probably.
$20, yeah. Yeah, I can get a lot.
Well, do people do it? Like, is it like a thing that people do?
I don't know. I've never heard of anybody doing it, but I thought of it the other day.
I don't want to be the first guy to try it. If I'm the first guy to try it, it's going to take some more money, because
it could make you famous. You're the first guy to do it, right? What about that moon jumping motherfucker? He got pretty famous.
Speaking of which, what's up, Duker?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Howdy, neighbor.
Thought you were just going to let me hang out in the backstage area there for...
I mean, if you want to just be a spectator. What was I going to ask, Duke? Oh, Duke, what are your thoughts on getting kicked in the genitals for pleasure?
For pleasure?
For pleasure. So like Tony Atlas, but like, or in the face. Just get kicked anywhere, I guess, for pleasure.
Am I doing the kicking or am I getting kicked?
Oh, you're getting kicked. I guess, you can answer both.
Man. I'm not into getting kicked in the nards. It gives me no pleasure.
What if you get to pick who's kicking you in the nards?
It's still going to hurt, man.
Even if it's like Kimono Wanalea, it might hurt.
I mean, maybe it's because of my conservative upbringing, but not
this guy doesn't like to have fun. Okay.
Kicked in the ball bag, man. What? You enjoy it?
Yeah, HK, do you enjoy it?
Well, I'm just saying, I think that there's a spot of pleasure. You tell me that Keebs is standing in front of you naked. There's going to be some pleasure, even if she's kicking you in the nuts.
Is it giving her pleasure?
Probably is.
Yes.
Why'd we get to this point?
That's not the question. Is not how we got here. We're here, and now we need answers.
You're there.
I mean, if I'm talking like taking one for the team, if she's getting some pleasure, okay.
All right, attaboy.
I'm a giver,
That's what I hear. That's the scuttlebutt on the street.
Word's getting around, huh?
Sure is.
It's not the only thing getting around.
I'll tell
yeah.
you, if you want to find a big group of people that like that kind of thing for pleasure, it's probably a 2-night internet wrestling convention in the Northeast in 1997, which is what CyberSlam 1997 is. Boys, you took a little gander at this little ditty.
Yeah.
We've talked a lot of ECW. It's been a while. I mean, any I guess overall thoughts on the show? Any like major changes you've seen since we last took a look at this stuff?
Boy, what the first one we did, they were in an auditorium, I believe.
Yeah, there was one. I was like on a fan cam.
Yeah,
It's a little rough. Yeah,
the second one we did, they were in an auditorium, I believe.
no, I think they're in the same place.
I think they
No,
were in
the
a
third
gym,
one.
right?
The first one was a gym, yeah.
I swear there was a basketball hoop.
The Briarfield Shire
Right.
Conseco.
Right. Todd Gordon versus Bill Alfonso.
Yeah, the Arts and Crafts Auditorium. And then this one is also in a gymnasium. No, this one's also in a
It's at the ECW arena, man.
Yeah, buddy.
auditorium.
It's an arena, actually.
It's not a fucking arena.
Some people may call it a bingo hall, but
It's not an arena.
it's an arena. It's in the
It's
name.
not an arena. How many people does it fit?
Well, let me tell you.
You got some 500, maybe?
Suck me off. Hold on. It was like, I think it was about 500. I think it was on,
Okay.
on the old cage match gimmick.
Yeah, and
Let's see
I
here,
don't.
90.
500 is not an arena.
An arena is a mindset, Kevin.
Like a
Right.
millennial.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean,
gotcha.
they call it the arena.
They do call it the arena.
It's in, yeah.
In the blues of blue.
But,
Okay, here we go. Night 1, which wasn't shown. I think what's on Peacock is only night 2, I believe.
It's only night 2, yeah.
But night 1 was in the Lost Battalion Hall in Queens, New York, and that had 800 people in it. Night 2 in the ECW arena had 1,400 people
Okay.
in there.
14 is
Pretty good. That's an arena.
I think it's still a hall, though.
You're a hall. So, but you know, it's the charm of ECW. Look, we're building to the first pay-per-view from ECW. Then 2 months from the show, barely legal. So we got a lot of build on this show. We got some new stars, some freshly debuted guys, freshly debuted teams. Sabu's here, all the cast and the characters you all love to see. I thought it was a pretty solid show. Not the worst, not the best, probably. But I thought there was some fun stuff.
I think I think this is the third ECW show that we've done.
I believe so.
I think this might have been the best. You know, a lot of the same sort of crazy ingredients, you know, that is part of the charm of ECW. We'll get into it. I think last show there was 5 tag team matches. This one there's 3. And
There you go.
I don't know how they pull it off, but the inconsistency of the rules somehow works in the ECW tag division.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't?
No,
Yeah, who needs rules?
Wow.
I do. I need rules.
But it could add a title match, right? That would have been good to see.
Well, there's a tag team title match. But that was
That's
it.
true.
Yeah, to your point. Yeah.
But do you know much about the cyber portion of this event? This was like some sort of a convention thing, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much the extent of my knowledge, that it's some sort of internet convention, which what does that mean? I don't know. I don't know if we're talking mass orgies or we're talking like, you know.
Can't rule it out.
Yeah. Yeah. That'd be a sweaty gathering. But yeah, I guess they did it a few years. I don't know if it was like a yearly thing. It was always a convention, but yeah, I mean, this show kicks off pretty hot and heavy right into it. You know, normally these shows start out with some stupid ass like jobber wearing pants, and then Sabu or Sandman comes out, canes them, and then we're off to the races. And then we
Yeah.
only a little bit of the Sandy on the show, just a little dash of the Sandy man,
Just a touch.
But a lot of Sabu on this show, because we got the tag team titles on the line in this opener. We got the team of Rob Van Dam and Sabu taking on the champions the Eliminators, of course, Cronus and Saturn, in a tables and ladders match. No chairs allowed, apparently. My question, right off the bat, is what's the difference between this match and literally any other ECW match?
None.
Okay. Thought
None.
So
tag titles are on the line, man.
yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
You got stakes, right?
Well, there's some
stakes.
I guess.
Well, in the tables and ladders match, I guess they're encouraged. Rather, I guess they're always allowed, but they're encouraged in this scenario. So can't hate that.
Yeah, they should have the belts dangling, right? That would have just distinguished it.
Love a dangle. Yep.
Right.
They can't dangle things in the arena.
Well, they can. It would just be like right here. You just grab it.
Yeah, it's not be tough.
Good point.
Who is it? It's fucking Perry that's got the promo to kick off, right? Perry's on the stick.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't, I love Perry, right?
Uh-huh.
I love him. And I think Perry, he's not the worst on the stick, but when he says like, if we beat you, we're the best. If you beat us, you're the best. Like, what the fuck are you trying to accomplish with that? If we beat you, if we, us two guys here, if we beat you, then we're the best. But don't
what if
forget,
they beat them?
But if you, the two of you guys beats the two of us guys, then you're the best. Great fucking chop there. Get Moppy. Go get Moppy. And I love Perry Saturn. Like, Perry Saturn's a hell of a talent, and he's not the worst on the stick. I just don't know what that line was trying to accomplish. I don't know if I'm picking nits on this either. But right away, I'm like, all right, gonna be super judgmental of this fucking match because apparently the winner is the best.
That's the way it should be.
You would think that's what the titles represent. Yeah, typically, not always, but
maybe goes without saying.
Yeah, he didn't really have much to say there, but I've noticed that it's kind of a thing that, somebody gets on the mic at the beginning of most every match here.
Yeah.
And
I think he had
it gets a little better. Yeah. But in the ring, a lot of good stuff here.
So the way I describe this match, this is the best shitty match I've ever seen because it is so like not even clunky. I don't even think clunky is the right word because there weren't like a lot of botches in this. It was very rough around the edges. Like modern ladder matches or even like ladder matches in this era in like WWF are very clean. Like the spots are well thought out. They build to them. No, we got this big Sean's on the ladder. He's going to jump. It's a big deal. This match, they're just doing shit. I'm convinced they had no plans on any spots. They were just like, oh, here's a ladder. I guess I'll put it on you. Then I'll spring off of this, off the chair. Bing, bang, boom. And then they did that for like, 20 minutes. And then let's get to the finish. But
so you think it's the fucking Iron Chef of tag team matches?
Yeah, bada bing,
like,
that's
hey,
this.
We got a ladder. We got a fucking go out there and see what you can make of it.
Oh, I'm going to blow your tits off. Let me put this chair through the ladder. Put the ladder in the... I mean, good golly. There's...
So do you think the business with making tags in these matches is just a total farce? It kind of works.
It does not fucking work.
Do you just want them all four to be going at it the whole time?
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah?
That's kind of like what half of it was, I feel like.
It was, but this was the most like kind of organized. That's saying something because it was I agree with you, Kyle. It was a pretty awesome, like, kind of shit show. Lots of good spots. I really like the when Sabu's got the camel clutch and RVD gets a big running start and baseball slide drop kicks him.
It's very good. Very good. Didn't get quite enough room. RVD was a little bunched up there, but it worked. It worked. He got like the momentum, going back and forth and kicked him. I liked it. Very ahead of its time.
They had shitty ladders. They had now tags are enforced, now tags are not enforced. At one point, I think it's RVD tries to tag in by tagging the ass of Sabu. He's trying to tag him via the ass, and the ref says, no. You can't tag the ass. That doesn't
the ref
work.
didn't let that go?
And then, by the way,
I think that's a legal tag.
Tags aren't going to matter for a while. They're not going to matter for a little bit. Now tags are going to matter again. Then they're not going to matter. Then they're going to matter again. What the fuck, man?
Look.
No.
Easily
explainable.
explainable.
It is not easily explainable.
You know what? It's two words. Referee's discretion.
The fuck? That's the most pussy.
Well,
I fucking hate it. The referees, and you know I fucking hate that. You just, referee's discretion. No, fuck that. Fuck the referee. Fuck his discretion. Tags either matter or they don't. You can't just pick and choose when tags matter.
How would you handle this though? ECW's whole premise is there's no disqualifications. How do you just not have a tag division?
You don't fucking tag. You don't tag. You just don't tag.
Tags.
Just don't tag. Because why are we implementing rules and then not implementing rules and then implementing rules again and then deciding not to implement rules again?
I think these guys have a respect for the tag division, right?
But not for the rules.
It's like they're regulating themselves, right?
Yeah.
Self, whatever the word is there.
I know
regulation.
Self-enforcing.
I'm not
inmates
going
in the asylum.
Yeah, there you go. I'm not going
to
to disagree that it's absolutely ridiculous, but it's they got some good tag teams here.
Right.
There's some good action.
And I will say, back to Perry's promo, you might have thought he was a babbling idiot, but he was really establishing that, hey, in this match, it's about being the best. And how do you prove that you're the best is by following the rules. So that's why they are following those rules, because they want to prove that they're the best, as per Perry in his soliloquy in the beginning. So it's really it's easy to follow if you're just paying attention. So we got lots of chaos in this match, to say the least. Maybe my favorite spot is so RVD sets up the ladder in the corner, like in between the second and third ropes, so that it's facing up. He puts, I think it's Perry, on top of this ladder. RVD slides in between the ladder and the turnbuckle and tries to do a split-legged moonsault. And I'm watching this, I'm like, there's no way he has enough room to hit this. And by golly, I was right, because he did not. He landed right, he crunched his neck. It was stupid on paper and it was worse in execution, but that was kind of this match in a nutshell. It's just them trying stuff. A lot of stuff worked out. A lot of stuff looked pretty brutal. I mean, there's one spot where Saturn just throws a ladder at RVD and you could see it clunk him right in the forehead. Like, Jesus Christ. Any other spots in this one stick out to you guys?
So one spot that I loved was RVD. He just takes 2 steps up the ladder and just does a standing moonsault. It's crazy how he can. And another spot where I was like, man, he probably doesn't have enough room. He fucking made it work, and it looked good. The stereo slingshot kicks look like shit. There was a lot in this match that didn't look good, and I don't know that they were able to cover up all of it. Really, I think Total Elimination always looks good, but the setup for it is always kind of rough. You just got to believe that he's going to stand there, and they got to be so quick to snap it too. And then they went for it was twice. It was double Total Elimination at the end, and you would think that after one Total Elimination, the guy would be totally eliminated, but not in the scenario. They got to reset him up, and it wasn't a great big fan. Wasn't a great big fan of this one.
It's a nice Frankensteiner by Saturn. Real Scott Steiner
snapped it off.
Saturn
was a beast, man. Yeah. I mean, he fucking wrecked his body, doing these kind of matches. But back in the day, he was a beast.
I like the Eliminators, man. Good
they're great, especially in this period. I mean, I think they're internet darlings at this point, which I think is why Saturn grabbed the mic and went on about whatever. But they're fun. They
would have gone down as one of the better tag teams through that entire era had they stayed together and made it to the big show.
Yeah,
easily it would have been one of the more memorable, better teams. People would be talking about them right now, more than they do so now. If they had been on the big show, it's kind of a shame.
Super innovative. A lot of teams get influence. I mean, if nothing else, that total elimination, like every team tries to put their spin on it, and people have crafted better ways to get into it. I mean, in this match specifically, it's like they didn't know like where the other guy was, so they like there was like a force field around RVD to like, no, you get over there, and then they kind of mistimed it, which is I think why they did it twice, is because the first one looked kind of shitty. But there's also a rematch of the first night, so they did this match the previous night, and I think Joey Styles said something like Saturn said he was going to hit RVD twice this time instead of, I don't know, there's something there, but
he did say something along those lines. Did you? So the Eliminators won night one as well.
I believe so. I'm assuming that one was also for the titles.
Right, but was it also for the title of best night one?
Now that is a good question. We need to delve into the archives.
Right.
And take a look at the
probably not.
I figure like that wasn't settled on night one, right? So that's why they had to have a rematch on night two to really find out who the best was.
Night one was like, let's see who's pretty good. Night two was like the very best.
It'd be fucking amazing if they got the same promo too. Night one, he's like, you know what? If these two guys beat you two guys, we're pretty good. We're pretty good.
Man, if you're gonna tell me this Saturn promo was his second take, then that just makes it all the more worse. Gee willikers.
What do you guys think of Sabu shaking the hands and trying to force RVD to do the same?
So I like it. I don't know. I think we covered one of their matches, RVD versus Sabu. They had a series of matches, and the story revolved around, because they had like their first match, Sabu wanted to shake RVD's hand, but he wouldn't shake it. And then after a few matches, RVD finally shook his hand, and then they became a team. So now we're kind of reverting back to RVD. That's like the person that he is. He doesn't like to shake hands. He hates hands, and will not touch them. So he's pissed that he lost. He's a sore loser, whatever. But, Sabu and the Eliminators seem to have a healthy respect for each other. But so I kind of liked it. It built a little intrigue. What is this RVD fella up to? Are we going to have more matches between RVD and Sabu? I kind of enjoyed it.
I didn't think about it at all.
Wow.
Yeah. Didn't think about it at all.
You just saw the disrespect and you were like, well, whatever.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's the kind of person you are. Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Poor Sabu. Poor Sabu. Poor Eliminators. But that shifts us right into Joey Styles in the ring, who's welcoming us to the show, which confused me. But I don't know if this was they just like chopped up things and shifted, whatever. But Joey Styles is in the rings, welcomes everybody to the ECW arena, and he introduces the Pitbulls. Pitbull number 1 and Pitbull number 2 come out. And we're in the midst of the feud between the Pitbulls and the Triple Threats. So franchise, Shane Douglas, Brian Lee, Chris Candido, etc., etc. The Pitbulls are just yelling about shit. Pitbull Bald is like, hey, Shane Douglas, quit being a Shawn Michaels and face me, which is fun. A lot of Shawn Michaels references on this show.
I laughed when he called him a Shawn Michaels.
It's fun. It's fun. We're fresh off of him losing his smile, so it's very topical. And we hear the voice of Detective Dougler, who is in the rafters. Hey, Pitbulls! He starts doing the promo, and then his music starts. What are we? What are we? And then he like lets it play for like a minute. And then the beat hits. He's like, all right, cut that music off.
Do you think he was like, and part of me thinks that he went out there and he's like pissed, right? He's like, whatever, fuck it. Don't play my music. I won't do my cut the damn music line, right?
It would be funny if he said that and there's no music playing.
He walks out there and he's like, turns the mic off. He's like, guys, I changed my mind. I want to do the cut the damn music. Play my music. Play my music. Cut the damn music. And Shane Douglas, man, since the last we've talked, I've been able to share a locker room with Shane Douglas.
Oh,
really
yeah.
awesome. Yeah, really awesome guy. Like I really appreciated my time. I spent like 2 hours with him, just hanging out, chopping it up. Like, really cool guy. But like in this moment, they made him look like such an asshole.
Well,
such an asshole. And he didn't help himself either with this entire segment.
Why is that? Well, why is he an asshole here?
It's a TV fucking segment. It's a TV segment. That's all it is.
That's a CyberSlam segment.
It's a TV segment. It was
Oh.
The whole thing was rough, man. The whole thing. And that's like, while watching it, I was like, okay, this would be a great segment to put on your TV to intrigue me to get the pay-per-view for whatever match you're going to set up there, if you're setting up a match there. But that's not what they're doing. This is just a segment to have it at CyberSlam, I guess.
Well, to be fair,
music.
they probably will have this on their TV show, to be fair. So they're just
use the pay-per-view to sell your TV show.
Well, if we're going to be technical, this isn't a pay-per-view. This is a super show.
And how did you watch it, Handjob?
I didn't pay for it.
Okay.
So
it's probably on the online, right?
On the cyber?
On the cyber, yeah.
There you go. That's why it's CyberSlam.
I bet there was a fee attached to it.
Possibly.
Is the franchisor, is he the TV champ? Is that what he was wearing?
That he is. So he's here for the TV segment because he's the TV champ. It all ties together. Really makes sense.
I guess
lots of profanity.
Dude, this was like Jerry Springer level. Beep, beep, you mother, beep, you. He's up. I think he called Shawn Michaels a crack whore at some point. I was trying to read his lips, which is just phenomenal. Couldn't really. What I gathered is that Dougler's pretty upset at the Pitbulls, is what I gathered from this tirade, this salty tirade. And he's like, "Oh, why don't you come and get me?" And the Pitbulls, because Dougler is like on the balcony stage deal. So the Pitbulls charge him like big dumb animals. And lo and behold, it's a trap. The 2/3 of the triple threat, Brian Lee and Chris Candido, attack from behind. Brian Lee chokeslams Pitbull bald through a table, and they beat up on Pitbull hair in the background. So yeah, just more build to that match. I think it's barely legal. I would assume Shane Douglas versus Pitbull 2 or 1 or whatever the fuck. But yeah, I thought it was a funny little segment. It made me chortle, if nothing else.
The most enjoyment I've got out of that segment now is after you said, "But it's a trap." And in my head, I was like, one of the Pitbulls got up there and, "Oh, it's a trap." It's a trap.
Oh, stupid leather idiots. Well, the hits just keep on coming. We got Little Guido out, but not alone. Not alone. Who's with Little Guido, you may ask? Because I thought he was still in the FBI at this point. I don't know if he still is. But instead he has Wildfire Tommy Rich alongside him to be his mouthpiece, which is a choice. I mean, the Shane Douglas promo was better than this, no?
Yeah.
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 Much better. I mean, Tommy Rich calls himself the sexiest man alive. He's no Rick Rude.
Well, I think he calls Guido the sexiest man alive.
Oh, he's trying to give his guy a boost.
He's trying to give him the rub. Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. I didn't know Tommy Rich was an Italian guy. You mentioned the full-blooded Italians. He mentions a couple times him being an FBI guy.
Well, he said
Paisan and shit.
His daddy was a mafia boss. He says right there.
Is that what he was talking about?
Yeah, he was making all the connections there, which I don't know much about the mafia, but I've never seen any of them wearing denim on denim before. That's usually not a mafia look. And his daddy was a mafia boss, and here comes Tommy Rich in his Planet Hollywood fucking denim jacket. Looks like the guy that's the guy in the trailer park that's not afraid to spend a little money.
Going to Applebee's tonight, baby.
It was fucking rough, and he stays on the mic way too long, way too long. And I know he's trying to like make sure everybody knows the backstory, right? His daddy's a mafia boss. My daddy got to do a favor for the family. That's why he's here. I get that. Like, okay, you set up the story. You don't need to set up the story, right? It's Little Guido and was it Chris Chetty?
Yeah.
The rookie, Chris Chetty.
Yeah, great moniker, the rookie. Good job, kid.
Stinks.
Right?
I could have gone without this whole thing here. The match.
Chris Chetty, the rookie?
Spiel.
Yeah.
The first graduate of ECW's House of Hardcore, Chris Chetty.
I suppose they got to get him out there, plug that hardcore school. You know, this could be you. Yeah. You could be like Chris Chetty.
You could be the rookie.
Call in if you know any other graduates of ECW's House of Hardcore, because it was not a good advertisement for that school, I would say. I mean, it wasn't like it's a whatever match. The match went on way too long, just like the promo did in the beginning. By the way, first of all, Tommy Rich, he did throw out "You smell what I'm cooking," which, I mean, come on, he set the tone.
That's predating The Rock.
It certainly does. So The Rock owes him some royalties, I think. But the match gets underway. Little Guido, who's now calling himself the Extreme Stud. He's a pretty handsome man, I guess. I don't know. I don't know if stud is the word. He's pretty studly. Now I'm thinking about it. But Chris Chetty, not really. The only note here I have is Chetty almost breaks his neck trying to do a Hurricane Rana. Guido spends most of this match kicking the shit out of him. He goes for a top rope knee drop, but misses. And the rookie locks in a cradle pin out of nowhere and gets the 1, 2, 3. So the rookie, it's a miracle in Philadelphia. Chris Chetty beats Little Guido. Thoughts?
Yeah, this was a throwaway match to me. There wasn't much there at all. Again, Tommy Rich just take the mic, and he gets back on the mic after the match too. Like, just don't give him the mic again after that. Just don't do it. I like Guido. I think Guido's a fine hand, but the one thing that's always driven me fucking nuts about, can he not get like trunks that fit properly? Have you ever noticed this about him? His trunks never quite fit properly. They always look like they're just one size too big. So it's almost like he's wearing an adult diaper. Like, if you pay attention,
big fat cock.
Does he got a giant rod? He's got a horse hammer?
I would assume.
You would think if it was a horse hammer, it'd be flopped out of that bitch then.
Well, there's more room for it because
there's
it's
more
big.
Room for his horse hammer.
Right.
Okay. That's one thing that I've always noticed about him. His trunks just never seem to fit right. Just never fucking seem to. You'll see next time you watch, like, just focus on the trunks and you'll see what I'm saying.
He's wearing mismatched boots as well. I mean, there's a red and a white one, so maybe those are Italian colors, whatever. But
it's probably a Paisan thing.
Right.
Something I noticed. So when Wildfire gets on the mic and says, "Fuck every one of you," they're being real selective about what they beep out, because they didn't beep out "fuck every one of you."
Yeah, they're notorious for. I've heard on Peacock there are some Devon Dudley promos that just "fuck you motherfuckers, goddamn suck my black cock, bitch," and it's like Shane Douglas will be in the next promo. He's like, "You're a ass beep."
He's like, "Hey, you can't get them all."
At some point, you're like,
There was definitely deadlines to make when editing this.
Right. Yeah. This was a real 4:30 p.m. on a Friday project.
Right. Catch as many as you can. What time is it? It's about 4:31, 4:32 now. Just do your best. See what you can do.
It's very interesting. Very interesting. I don't know why Wildfire Tommy Rich is here. He had a match at the last show, which was something. So I guess I could be thankful that he wasn't doing that. I
don't think he's a good corner man, because Guido, he was going to do his second rope move. Tommy Rich tells him to go all the way upstairs. You know, gave the rookie Chris Chetty some extra time to get out the way.
Right.
So, I mean, he's a former NWA champion. Can't take that away from him, but I mean,
you almost wish you could.
Throwaway. Wish you could.
So, I guess he's not getting an invitation into the FBI. So JT Smith probably not too happy with this performance by the corner man, to your point. So, anyways, well, don't worry. We got some good stuff next. We got Balls Mahoney taking on Studley Stevie Richards. Your boy. Man, we could do a whole podcast on just the fashion show that was this match. What the fuck is Balls Mahoney doing? Is my
You're
question.
right about that. He's got his Leather jacket, leather hat, the chaps, ripped up jeans that are kind of fashioned into like a skirt.
They're too ripped. Too ripped.
That leather goddamn hat. He fucking comes out, man. And I see him, and I don't remember him looking like this, and it might be just my selective memory. This is a young balls, right? These are young balls. We're looking at young balls, and he comes
FWBS.
Oh, take it easy. So he comes out, and he looks like a bum.
He looks like a lesbian.
He looks, well, yes, a lesbian too, for sure, but with a bearded bum lesbian that is kind of like the biker in the Village People as well. Like, there's so many weird things going on with this outfit. I didn't know if I was completely disgusted, if I was turned on. I had no idea what was going on with this.
It's like he went into like Shawn Michaels' locker and stole like pieces of his entrance attire and then threw it on.
You think Balls was going to be the next boy toy? Like, that's what his mindset was.
Maybe he took his motorcycle to the show, man.
Right. So he just drive a motorcycle without chaps and a hat. God, this fucking Balls Mahoney. Yeah, it's
quite a look.
First draft to Balls Mahoney, but it's not good. It's not good. The top, I don't know what's going on with this. It's not even a tank top. It's like
it's a singlet.
It's a woman's like deal. Like, I don't know what it is, but he doesn't have the body for it. I'm just gonna say that. Look. Neither do I. But Balls Mahoney ain't fit for this hooking like onesie. I don't know. There's a lot going on here, but
he's a big boy, that's for sure.
But I thought the crowd was pretty rude when he like pulled his straps down and there was a "shave your tits" chant. I thought that was pretty rude. It's the first I've heard of that. But
I like how he's introduced from Nutley, New Jersey. Right?
Get it?
Nutley.
We get it.
Balls.
A lot of balls.
Nice touch, A
lot of balls related offense too. Atomic drops. Did a little wishbone on all Stevie on the bottom rope. We got to talk about Stevie Richards and the BWO coming out there red hot or blue hot. BWO coming out here. We got W Guy. We got Hollywood Nova. We got 7-Eleven. All the boys are here. Big Stevie Cool is here, and he's in charge. What do you? I don't understand why they're so over. I don't know. Maybe you guys could shed light on that because you were there. Maybe you were older during the time.
Yeah. So even back then, like, I think that the big appeal was the same thing as the appeal that that ECW was. You know what I mean? It's counterculture. It's something different. It's the alternative. So even taking like a parody of the NWO and making it BWO, it's something different. It's counter. It's parody. It's different. So while all your your cool friends could wear the NWO shirt, not everybody's showing up in the BWO shirt. You know what I mean? It was just something a little bit different. I don't think it was. I mean, they were super over, but I don't think it was anything more than another branch of that like counterculture type thing that they were already kind of invested in. Because I mean, realistically, it's the fucking Blue World Order. That's what it is. It's the whole thing's a fucking parody. It's the best parody that ECW had done, I mean, far and away, and it's the best work that they did. I think a lot of people still remember like Stevie and Meanie and maybe Nova for the BWO, and that's as far as it might ever get for them.
Right.
Who is this? The six-pack character? You said he was 7-Eleven?
7-Eleven, yeah.
7-Eleven. I don't know exactly who he was. Maybe we can hit the old Google ski. Who was not 911? Who was 7-Eleven ECW? It's probably nobody. Rob. Rob Feinstein.
No fucking way. Put the camera away, Rob.
Those are also his favorite ages. But
I think
wow.
The BWO was fun and funny. That's definitely part of the appeal. You talked about Balls in his getup. I mean, we got the BWO with their, belly shirts and short shorts.
Yeah.
Making
a comeback nowadays. So very timely. Very timely. The crop shirts, the blue crop shirts, the Daisy Dukes. It's a good look. But at some point a match happens. And I don't know, Balls, like, he looks goofy. You can kind of feel him starting to get a little over here because eventually, I mean, he's, this chair swinging freak or whatever the hell, like big character for ECW. And the crowd's doing like the balls every punch. It's balls, like old Hack Myers and the Shaw. So now I guess Balls has taken the place of the Shaw, even if I don't know if it's ironic or what, but the crowd seems kind of into him a little bit. Stevie Richards is, he's a workhorse of the company at this point. A pretty decent match, I guess, for ECW at this point. I didn't hate it. A lot of hog-related offense from Balls, as per the name. But Stevie turns it around on him, wins with a kick to the dick, followed by a kick to the face. Stevie kick for the win. Stevie Richards gets the win, but I think Balls didn't look good physically, but I think as a character did a lot for him.
Never got into it. Like I never got into this match, and I don't know if it was the seeing Balls like this. Like that's not how I remember him. Yeah. So like just that alone, I was like, what the fuck is this all about? Like bring me the Balls that I remember. I want my balls from memory, right? I don't want this Balls. I want my balls, and that wasn't my ball. Yeah. So I never quite got there.
Foreign balls, no good.
No.
I'm a big fan of Studley Steve, right? I like when he goes for the 10 punch and then he like turns himself around and shoves his ass and balls his face. That's a good spot.
That's a sentence. His ass and balls his face. Those are you're just saying body parts.
There was a spot here where Balls nailed a big splash from the top, and in one of the recent shows that we covered, Rhino nailed something similar. And when you see a guy who's that big flying off the top, hitting a move, that should put a guy away.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but after the match, there's a groupie who runs into the ring.
Yeah. What's the, it was just a groupie, just a nameless groupie. I couldn't tell who it was. It was some blonde lady going for Stevie's hog.
I couldn't really tell at all who the groupie was. Just period. Had no idea. It kind of threw me off a little bit. And I don't know if it was I imagine it had to be a plant because they didn't beat the shit out of her.
ECW BWO groupie. What if it's like like Trish Stratus or
what if it's Feinstein again?
Nothing's coming up. It's Kai and Tai. All right, that's not who I'm looking for. No, it'll be a mystery. Got to tune in next week to find out, folks. Keeps the intrigue going. Can't hate it.
She's one of the few ladies in the crowd.
Yeah, so it had to be
too many gals out there. Yeah.
Would you be a lady in that crowd?
An internet wrestling convention? Yeah.
In 97?
Oof. It's not a safe place.
No.
No.
With Feinstein on a camera?
I think she was old enough to where that's not an issue, but allegedly. So it would be pretty rotten to be a lady in that crowd. Speaking of rotten, we got Axel Rotten taking on Spike Dudley. Another weird match here. So we got Axel Rotten's kind of been like the accessory piece to the Dudley storyline. He's been siding with Devon against the rest of the Dudleys, but Bubba Ray Dudley recently turned and joined Devon. So now we got the true Dudleys. So now I guess Axel is against Spike by proxy. I don't know. But we have this match here. It's whatever. Axel Rotten doesn't do a lot for me. Spike Dudley's fun to watch, but I don't know. This match got me pretty flaccid. I don't know. What do you guys think about it?
I was just as flaccid as you were. I like Spike. I like Spike a lot. The way that he kind of, he bumps and it looks super violent, but it always seems to be safe. If that makes sense. He finds a way to make sure he's landing safely. And I'm sure he's had a hell of a career of injuries, but I've always liked Spike. Never been a big Rotten guy. And the components just didn't really do much for me. I mean, a lot of it was just Spike getting his ass beat.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's per usual.
Yeah.
He's great at it.
I mean, he could take an ass beating. That's for sure. But he eventually makes a comeback. He hits the acid drop. I don't know if this is quite the acid drop. I think the acid drop's more of a cutter. No?
Yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of the precursor to that, a bulldog version. But then Devon and Bubba get in, or they try to get in. They distract Spike. Axel's able to take advantage, hits a dominator on little Spike Dudley, and gets the win. Dudley's in, Devon, Bubba beat down on Spike. Bubba hits this crazy, like last ride type of power bomb, but like almost he was like horizontal, and he just like picked him up, and it was beautiful. It's a monster. Then they hit a 3D, which is still in the beginning stages of this move, so they're still fine tuning it a little bit, but it looked pretty brutal. And the beatdown continues into the next match, where we got the Dudley Boys taking on the Gangstas, Mustafa and New Jack. The first Dudley Boys match, fun fact, Bubba and Devon, their first like official match teaming together. So that's fun. Oh. Unless it happened on night one of the show, which I like to pretend it didn't. So
that is a fun fact.
So Kevin, I was listening to the Wizards this past week, and you seemed to take umbrage.
Oh, you heard about that?
With a certain ill-fitting referee of some sort. Pee-wee Moore.
I hate this motherfucker. Yeah.
What's your problem with old Pee-wee?
Well, he's definitely, he seems like the precursor to Horseface. And like, he's jumping around. Every fucking movement that he does is way too big for what it needs to be. Throughout this entire match, he is running around. He's out at one point, I think it's fucking Devon has got one of the gangsters a headlock, or Bubba. I don't remember which one, but he's like hugging him to try and get him to release the fucking headlock. What are you doing? Get the fuck out of there.
Maybe he wasn't the legal man.
Yeah, that fucking matters.
Just trying to enforce the rules.
Don't give me that fucking referee's discretion bullshit. You blow that out your ass. Every fucking thing. And he is running around, running circles around this fucking ring. At one point, there's a broken table. He's just standing on it like king of the fucking mountain. Like just standing there like, can't get me up here. He's jumping over people just go down and make the fucking count. You're not supposed to be seen until you're supposed to be seen. And this motherfucker wants this match to be about him. Oh, I hated him.
A lot of chaos happening. He's trying to get out of the way. He's trying to avoid danger.
He's trying to get out, and he's running like his arms are all up, and I gotta get out of here. It's so fucking comical. He's running around like a cartoon character. Fuck this guy.
He's doing his best to enforce the rules.
Man, they should have plunked him with the VCR, right?
Yes.
I like the VCR spot.
Yeah.
That was good. I'm with you. There's a couple of spots on this show where the referee should always just be in the match waiting to make the pinfall. That's it.
Right.
Right. Enforce the rules, right? If the rules fucking matter. But like, you're not supposed to be seen until you're supposed to be seen. And this motherfucker, the whole thing, it's like he wants it to be about him. And the other thing that he's not doing, which fucking drives me nuts, right? Drives me nuts. As the referee, you are supposed to clear some of that debris for the safety of the competitors in the ring, not stand on it like you're getting a fucking gold medal at the Olympics, you jackass. Clear the debris. Safety of the fucking performers in the ring. Not run around like a cartoon character and then stand on a podium. This guy's a jack off.
Well, let me offer a retort to that. So
you do.
this match was a lot of chaos. They kind of paired off. You had two people fighting in the ring. You had two people fighting on the outside of the ring and everywhere. If he were to clear the debris and toss it to the outside, it's not really clear because they're still fighting on the outside. So how does he stop the debris from coming into play standing on it? Come on.
That's a fair retort.
Yeah.
No.
How's that taste?
No, because as soon as anything fucking happens, he's gonna run around, arms flailing everywhere off the debris, and then he stood on that multiple times throughout this match. Just stood on the debris. You clear the debris, even if they're outside of the ring, right? What's worse? It's a cement fucking floor. That's what it is. You get the debris out there.
Right.
Why, you love this guy? You love Pee Wee?
I don't love. I was more concerned about his big poofy shirt that wasn't tucked in, his tearaway pants seemingly that he was wearing. He was prepared for a lot of movement with what he was wearing. So
right. I had questions about those pants as well. I don't think they were windbreakers, but if they were, that just kind of adds to the fire.
No, they were like track pants of some sort. It is not great. The fashion on this show is not hitting for me.
No.
But yeah, I mean, it's a Gangstas match. You know what you're getting. I thought it was for a Gangstas match. It was fine. VCRs, trash cans, chairs, tables. There was some other weapon that came into play. I can't remember.
A guitar.
Yeah, I don't know. What does a guitar look like? I forget. Duke, maybe if you have a visual.
One of these things here.
That's right. That's right.
That one had no strings on it, though.
Yeah.
But New Jack did pretend to play the thing.
Well, he was playing it to Public Enemy, where I don't think you need strings on a guitar to necessarily play that song. He was kind of just beating. It was more of a percussion.
Right. Let me ask you this, though. So it's pretty common for the Gangstas to have the music going, right? And do they usually play the song over and over again, or does it typically end when the song ends like it did in this match?
So typically, and I noticed this the last show I covered, the music plays, like it starts the match. It's the chaos. Typically, the gangsters are in control. They were fighting in the crowd, in the ring. It's fun. It's happy-go-lucky, I dare say. But when the music stops, is typically when the gangsters lose their momentum.
Get their ass kicked.
Which is kind of how it played out here.
Yeah. Happy-go-lucky. Isn't it Natural Born Killers? Isn't that the song?
Well, you can't be a happy-go-lucky killer.
Terra illustrates my era?
Right.
I can't hang around my mama because I scare her?
Too happy.
I want to.
That's why she's scared.
Motherfuckers, what's up? It feels like I'm busting a nut when I open you up. No, that is not
that
happy.
Sounds pretty happy. That sounds pretty happy.
Well, the nut part, sure.
Yeah, that's
right.
That's the happy part. Okay.
Overall, yeah.
And there's a couple of wild spots here. New Jack, one of the most reckless guys ever, jumps off the damn balcony.
Yeah,
I think he came up short.
Yeah.
But Joey tells us that he connected.
It was a headbutt, just like he planned.
It's to their advantage that they don't have instant replay, because
yes,
I mean,
good golly,
but that looked pretty
great. I mean, he had to get a sprinting start to try to make it. Devon was set on a table. He jumps off that balcony, and by golly, he tried.
Dive. Holy shit,
that was rough. It was all. I mean, the crowd ate it up. Huge New Jack chants after that. So as it wasn't functional, but it worked in some way. I did enjoy the spot where so there's a table set up in the corner of the ring. Jack is set up against it. Bubba goes for a splash onto Jack, trying to crush him through the table. Table doesn't budge. Bubba recoils off of Jack. And then comes back to I think, try to smash Jack through the table, but Jack is out of the way. So Bubba just throws himself head first through the table to a big "you fucked up" chant. But Bubba then takes New Jack and just throws him like Kurt Angle to Shane McMahon. He's like, "Fuck you, I'm just gonna throw you through it." Explodes through the table, and then Bubba's like, "No, you fucked up," which was a fun little moment. I was happy for Bubba in that moment, but
I was not happy for a lot in this match, just at all. Like, and I love tag team wrestling and I love rules, so this obviously wasn't going to be for me, and I knew that going in. But then you think about it, and I know I talked to Double T about this. Like, Double T is not a Dudley's guy. He's not, and that's okay. I think that their best stuff came after they left ECW. Right, like far and away, their best stuff came after they left ECW. They're a highly decorated tag team, but then you look at the opposition in the Gangstas, and you can't really pinpoint when their best stuff is. So maybe they didn't have best stuff. I know my favorite Mustafa match is a match from WCW Saturday Night. Right, he was part of some type of up and comers showcase. That was a good match.
Really?
Yeah, but outside of that, I can't think of any match I'd point to and be like, man, that era of the Gangstas, that was the shit. That had me. It never did.
It's kind of all the same. I feel like that we're in the middle of the peak right here. I would assume
this is the peak. Gotcha.
See, I enjoyed that first match more than this. Because this was a complete melee, and I know it's, the whole kind of facade of making tags, when there's no rules, but yeah, so that's kind of the appeal of when they actually tag in and out to me, is that it's not just a complete shit show with plunder everywhere. There's still plunder everywhere, but how does this one end? Doesn't New Jack jumps into it?
A cutter, very ahead of its time. Bubba hits a Bubba cutter in midair onto New Jack, kind of a precursor to all these RKOs, catching them from springboards and whatnot. Clean as hell. So shout out to Bubba and New Jack for the timing on that. And the Dudleys get the win here. Axel Rotten's still out there, by the way. He kind of comes into play at some points, but Dudleys get the win, building this new tag team, which is funny to say about the Dudleys, but I thought it was fun. Like I said, I kind of knew what I was getting into with this match. And for a Gangstas match, this is about as good as it gets. With the balcony jump and the finish was sweet, so I thought it had its moments. But we shift to something a little different here. We got Taz taking on Tracy Smothers in a pretty much just it's not really a squash because Tracy gets some offense in. But Taz, this is a build-up for Taz. We're building the Taz versus Sabu at Barely Legal. So Taz is here being Taz, being the badass that he is. I think was the UHK, he's your guy for the year in your podcast.
I fucking love Taz, man. There was always something about him that seemed believable, realistic. Like Taz always seemed like such a badass that will throw you around everywhere. I absolutely loved Taz. The one thing I didn't like about it is that the fucking tracking was off on the VCR for this match. And when we got fucking black and white, and then the tracking, and then there's color, and then the black and white, and I was like, you guys are fucking my Taz experience.
It was a little nostalgic.
A little bit, but you want to be able to hit the tracking yourself and clear clear it up, and then it's almost like Climax when you get the screen to clear again when you're hitting the tracking button on your VCR.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm
slightly too young to know what you're talking about.
You don't know about that, man?
Oh man, you missed out.
No, I don't think so. Climaxing? What are we climaxing to?
So when the tracking would get all screwy, right, on your VCR on the tape, you would hit the tracking button, and the tracking button, either up or down, would clear the picture for you. So when you got to clear picture, it was like, that's a jizz party.
As good as it gets, man.
It really is. You got to get yourself a VCR to get this feeling.
I don't think I need to. I think I have other avenues to accomplish these goals.
Put a porn in the VCR.
You want me to go buy a porn on VHS?
I can send you one.
I don't need. That's not the issue.
He's got a pretty big stash.
Yeah, I bet. What's your favorite?
My favorite VHS porn?
Yes. Harry Bush 7.
There's no Harry Bush 7.
All right, they only got to 6.
I don't know, man. I'd have to go back in the old stash.
Yeah, do some research and get back to me.
Yeah.
Speaking of
Bust a Nut in Grandma's Butt Part 3.
That's bars right there.
Oh, man.
You should see 1 and 2 because it is kind of a continuous storyline.
Right.
Right.
I won't know what's going on, right?
She becomes a grandmother through the story.
Becomes.
Yeah, 3 is probably the highlight of the series, though.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, it's after that, it was just jumping the shark. For
She
sure.
just starts phoning it in.
Hate that. I don't know. But anyways, Taz is here.
Man, this is a clean wrestling match. It's a nice little breath of fresh air.
Old Tracy Smothers, y'all big Smothers group of gals.
I wouldn't fancy myself for like a big Tracy Smothers guy, but I have a big appreciation for what he's done in his career.
Isn't he the guy that fought a bear?
Throughout the indies? I don't know. I don't recall anything with the bear. Wouldn't surprise me though. Like I don't know. A lot of contributions throughout the indie scene. He's touched a lot of people along the way. Oh yeah. But like, it seems like the majority of the veterans that I've been in the locker room with have a Tracy Smothers story or how he helped them along the way. So I have big time appreciation for him.
He's pretty good. I mean, he's fresh off of that run as Freddie Joe Floyd, right?
Right.
Well known
over the Federation. But he's making his debut here in the ECW. I mean,
I know he becomes an FBI member at some point. I don't know where in the timeline that happens, but I know he sticks around for a little bit. Yeah,
he does.
Yeah,
man.
So more Smothers in the future. By the way, yes, he did wrestle a bear. It's on YouTube. The title is Tracy Smothers versus a muzzleless bear.
Did he win?
Without a muzzle.
No muzzle. Let's see here. Let me skip through it. It's only a minute and a half long. Doesn't seem like there's any pinfalls occurring.
Right. How do you defeat a bear? Yeah.
He does knock the bear over.
But it have to be a fight to the death, right?
It should be.
Bears on a chain.
They solve things.
Man, back in the good old days.
How does the bear know how to sell? That's the better question.
Yeah, it's a little stiff.
Yeah.
Bear is a little stiff. But you have time to fine tune that.
Man, Tracy Smothers, he's got a hell of a sunset flip. Just got to throw that out there.
Oh, he's got a good. I mean, he has a lot of good fire, is what I noticed. I mean, he's like pretty good technically, but he just felt like he had good energy about him. So I was a big fan of this match. He got his offense in the beginning. He kind of took Taz by surprise. Like Taz slaps him before the match gets underway, and Tracy's pissed, so he just takes him down, pummels him. Gets some moves in. He hits the jaw jacker, I believe is what it was called. It's like a flying elbow from the top rope. But Taz says, enough of this tomfoolery. Counters a suplex into a German, then hits a T-bone, and then locks in the Taz mission for the submission win. So Taz wins, of course. Building to Sabu at Barely Legal, but overall, the overall presentation of Taz is awesome at this point. I totally agree.
Yeah, it always seemed like he should have been more. Always seemed that way. So, and I don't know if it part of me thinks was it just ECW had one of the few times they had the proper presentation for somebody, because a lot of people went on to other places and did a lot of greater things and seemingly with a better presentation, bigger audience. But Taz the one guy that was the exception of that, because when he debuted in WWF. Huge presentation, seemed big, right? Kurt Angle, opening match, Royal Rumble, Garden, and then it was just a steep decline from there. But they detoured from his presentation when he was in ECW. So when you detoured from that, it started going down, and it just kind of, I don't know, always bugged me because I'm a huge Taz guy.
Yeah, he's a badass who's a incredible technician.
Yes.
When I saw him slap on that double underhook suplex, you're going to get another 3 or 4 different devastating suplexes. And that Taz mission, one of the best. How are you going to get out of that?
Right.
We had talked about it a little bit on one of our shows, and unfortunately, I think his size was a big factor.
Right.
He was a little taller, and that's nothing you can do about that. But
right.
One of the great characters. I'm with you. He was best showcased at this time, in ECW.
Yeah.
So
And I mean, he went to WWF at their hottest point too, which didn't help matters. You have Taker, Triple H, like all these monsters, Kane, and you have Stone Cold and The Rock. Is like there's only so many slots you can slide in at that point.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't know. Oh yeah. That's I mean, he beat Kurt Angle in his first match, which was a big deal, but I know there was a spot in that match where Taz almost like fucked up a suplex. And rumor has it that like that kind of like soured them on Taz and like, oh, he's dangerous, whatever the hell. But take it with a grain of salt. But that could have been because, like you said, it was a steep decline right after that match. He beat Kurt Angle. He broke his undefeated streak. So they obviously had plans up for him at some point, but could have been a size though.
My favorite story regarding that match was the Kurt Angle worried about Taz shooting on him. That still makes me like Taz the fucking like is a maniac, fucking Olympic wrestler. And Taz, I think he's a judo guy, I believe, but not. Yeah. He's not to the level that Taz was, and Taz even laughed about like I'm gonna shoot on Kurt Angle. You out of your fucking like, no, it's not gonna happen. Like, but that kind of plays into the whole thing about his believability and the kind of the aura about him. Yeah, I miss Taz.
Did he have a gang of guys come out with him? Was that a regular thing?
Team Taz,
guys in the orange shirts.
Yep.
Team Taz. They're kind of just nameless henchmen, but
get involved or anything. They
don't fucking need to. It's Taz.
Yeah, they're just there to carry his towels and his spit bucket or whatever the hell. I don't know. But you got Fonzie here. That's all you need, right? Him and his stupid ass whistle. But
so annoying. But
I guess that's the idea. But
great at being the annoying guy for sure.
He sure is. Gotta love Fonzie. So Taz is a beast, as per usual. But we move on to a little tag team contest. We got the Bulldozer, Brian Lee, and Raven taking on Terry Funk and Tommy Dreamer. Why are you laughing? What's so funny about the Bulldozer?
It's chains. All right.
No, it's not. The Bulldozer, Brian
fucking
Lee.
Chains. All right.
Prime time, Brian Lee.
He's sandwiched in between being fake Undertaker and chains here.
The prime time Bulldozers, Brian Lee.
Not just the normal Bulldozer. Prime time.
It's fucking Chains.
At least give him Underfaker. Come on now.
No, it's fucking Chains. He's even presenting
himself. He didn't change his look at all.
No. He's Chains. He's fucking Chains. The Bulldozer. What a fucking horrible name that is, too.
The Bulldozer.
Fucking, I'm this big, slow, plodding piece of equipment that moves Earth. I'm the Bulldozer.
you have heat with bulldozers?
Think about it, man. Like, if a bulldozer was coming at you, it's easily, right? Take a couple steps to the right or left. If it's going to turn around again, take another couple steps to the right or left. The Bulldozer is not a good name, not a good moniker.
He's not like a bulldozer guy though. Like Umaga, the Samoan bulldozer. Like he looked like he's a bulldozer.
Yeah, he's a bulldozer.
Yeah.
Brian Lee's just a tall asshole.
He's Chains.
Right. Got a choke slam.
Yeah, he's got a choke slam, but you can't be the choke slam Brian Lee.
He's prime time Brian Lee. It's the prime time slam, actually.
The prime time bulldozer. And if he was the bulldozer, his finish should be something bulldozery.
Yeah, what would you name his finish?
I wouldn't. I would abandon it altogether. But if you are if you're Brian, I'm the bulldozer Brian Lee. It's got to be like a pounce type move, right?
Like a whole train.
Right.
Like a whole train, yeah. That would work
good.
Yeah.
Like trying to think of bulldozer terms. My knowledge on bulldozers is pretty shallow, to be honest.
But you're right, man. That was the first thing I noticed was when he became Chains, he didn't change anything. Like this is Chains.
It's Chains, yeah.
Yeah.
2 Chains.
Good to see the Funker though. Funker gets a big time response.
Building to Terry Funk versus Raven at Barely Legal. Terry Funk wants one more world title run before he hangs it up. So this is all an effort. Why are you laughing?
Before he hangs it up, he is the fucking Kiss of wrestling.
He's probably still going at it.
My
somewhere.
bad. The Kiss of wrestling.
I like to think of this as the farewell tour, though, that we saw 25 years ago. Right? He's still pretty good here. Right?
Okay. I'm with you.
Carried on longer than he needed to, probably because he didn't know any better.
Right.
But it was a treat to see him, later day Terry still have his. It was still him, You're not watching a decrepit old guy out there.
Right, but I think he officially retired 3 weeks ago, and he died last year.
Right.
I think he's still probably active, listed actively, but
I mean, you never know.
I know what you're saying, though. Yeah.
I don't think he's that old. So he was born in 44. So he's 52, 53 at this point. So he's not that old at this point.
He won the NWA title like 25 years prior to this.
Wow. Right.
So quite a second, third, or fifth act or whatever this is for him at this point.
He just keeps coming, and he just keeps coming. You know what I'm saying? So, well, Raven's here as well, teaming with the Bulldozer.
Fucking Chains.
Chains. So he's more of a meat shield here because Chains is kind of like the hired assassin, I guess, of Raven. Because I guess the idea here is that if somebody pins Raven in this match, they get the title shot at Barely Legal. Yeah. So Raven was like, all right, Tommy, I know you've never beaten me. You've never pinned me. So I'm going to give you the chance. And Raven lays down, offers Tommy the chance to pin him because he knows that Tommy is not going to fuck over his mentor. So he's playing little mind games, et cetera, et cetera. Tommy just jumps on him and pounds on him. Oh, yeah. And he keeps like hitting moves and then going for the pin. And then he's like, oh, I can't do it. Oh, nerds. And Raven's like, ah. So that's a lot of what this match is. So
some high drama here, man.
Some good stuff.
I love pretty much all the elements of this match outside of Chains. But like this beginning where he's laying on the ground, he's like, come on, Tommy. Come on, Tommy.
Get on top of me, Tommy.
Right, wouldn't it be like, I don't know, in my mind, like you should call him Thomas at this point, right? Thomas Dreamer.
Thomas? That sounds weird.
That would have been a good,
right.
Like condescending take for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Pin me, Thomas. Come on, Thomas.
Thomas.
Yeah.
Tom.
Get on top of me, you want to.
Get on top of me, Thomas. Get on top of me and I'll beat you off. Because that's what I do. That's what I do when guys get on top of me. I beat them off.
It was kind of a nice touch when, a few minutes into the match, Dreamer lands the DDT. He goes for the pin, and then he realizes, oh, no, I can't pin him, That happens a few times throughout the match.
And he tags in Funk to make the pin, but, it's been too long, so that's a common thread throughout this match, like you said. But it is ECW, so it devolves into crowd fighting at some point. People are just hitting each other with chairs, whatever. Everybody's bleeding in the ring. Raven, who is just a crimson mask, is just driving Terry Funk's head into the mat over and over again. He still has the mic in his hand. He's like, tell me your war stories now, old man. just he's persistent, this Raven. And Funk eventually comes back, locks in the spinning toe hold, but the ref is somewhere else. You a big fan of the spinning toe hold?
This is a situation I find myself in when I watch the spinning toe hold. I don't know if it's amazing or if it's awful. I don't know which one it is, right? Because at a certain point, the headlock was revolutionary, right? At a certain point, somebody wrapped a headlock in and they went, holy shit, he's going to kill him. And I think that the spinning toe hold, when Terry Funk introduced it to us as his finish, I think that was revolutionary and amazing. And it probably blew people's fucking balls off. But in 97, it probably doesn't blow people's balls off. Should the spinning toe hold blow people's balls off? Is it amazing or is it awful? Because I still haven't been able to decide.
It's nice to see.
It is nice to see.
It's like a ratio of like the effort and the effectiveness. Like I feel like it's a lot of things you got to do for the effectiveness of just like an ankle lock.
I kind of like it, and here's why, right? So, like, where the fuck is the referee? Mentioned this earlier. The ref should
just
be
pulling
in the
his
ring.
pud somewhere. Yeah,
right.
I don't know.
So, Raven taps, so clearly it's a painful move. His shoulders are also down.
Double win.
Yeah. So it's got to be good then, right?
And furthermore, if you watch post toe hold, Raven sells his leg pretty much the rest of the way, which hats off to Raven.
Mhm.
But also, does that tell you how devastating the spinning toe hold truly is?
Raven's also known for the old, he stomps his boot into the mat to load it up. You know what I'm saying? You know, that old gag. So maybe does the spinning toe hold neutralize that? Or maybe even reverse. So maybe the steel that's in his boot hurts Raven when the spinning toe hold. So there's a lot of psychology here.
Could be.
Which I enjoy.
Okay, so I think I'm going to lean awesome. Spinning toe hold's amazing.
I'm a fan of it. I don't hate it. That's for sure. Yeah. I'm at least indifferent. But the bulldozer's back in. He stops this tomfoolery. Change is back in with a trash can because, of course, bashes both Terry Funk and Raven with this trash can. Or Terry Funk and Tommy Dreamer with the trash can. And then he just repeatedly bashes Terry Funk's head in with this trash can. Just bad. I mean, just pulverizing this man's meat or his skull meat into the mat. Tommy Dreamer's on the outside. He's bloody. He's beaten up. He's like dramatically, "Oh, Terry, let me save you!" And then he's just get gosh right over the head. Terry Funk his equilibrium is all topsy turvy. Terry keeps trying to get up, but he's where am I? God damn! And then he falls down. And then Tommy's like, "Oh, just stay down, Terry." And Funk's like, "Oh, God." And that's my Terry Funk impression. And the doctors get in there. He's like, "Terry, you can't be in here anymore." They force him on a stretcher, and finally get him out of there. And I think the match just ends. Oh no, actually, it doesn't end yet. Actually, we'll get to that later. But
so with the, like in that whole thing, like one, I fucking love Terry Funk's like selling because even while watching this, I don't know. Like the way that he falls, like every now and again, you're like, "Oh, he might actually be fucked. He might actually be fucked." So
equilibrium.
Hats off to him. The other thing is, I love Tommy Dreamer, but what a fucking mistake this showed. He's yelling at him to stay down while actively helping him up. To watch him fall down again, and then saying, "Stay down while I help you up," and then watches him fucking fall down again. Like you're not helping your friend anymore. It'd be like if your friend was addicted to crack. And you're like, here, don't smoke this crack. I'm gonna put it in your pocket for safekeeping, but don't smoke this crack. That's what he's doing. Stay down, Terry, while I help you up. Stay down.
Right.
Horrible.
Right.
Horrible.
Bit of a sketchy partner.
I was surprised that you assume that Funker was gonna make a comeback, but definitely building up the feud for sure. It reminded me a lot, of course, of this was like a year and a half later, but or a couple of years, whenever it was when Mick and The Rock at the Rumble, when Rock just bashed him in the head. It's interesting watching this old ECW stuff. You see spots that you see a few years later, like very similar. Stuff that gets borrowed, but so the main match ends there, but we're not done.
But I have an issue
is still underway.
It shouldn't be. It's a tag team match, and you just have one of your competitors just do a stretcher job.
Mm-hmm.
A stretcher job.
Terry and Tommy both go to the back, yes.
Yeah. So shouldn't the match be over? I mean, at least maybe a count out. I'm thinking.
There's no countdowns in ECW.
Throw the X up, maybe. Terry's dead.
It's extreme Championship Wrestling.
Okay, so
Kevin.
Terry's gone, so now it's just Dreamer, right? Now it's just Dreamer and Chains and Raven are going to
Well,
put him on
Dreamer went to the back with Terry because he needed to help Terry stay on the stretcher because he was still trying to get up. So it's just Raven and Chains.
So now it's down to Raven and Chains one-on-one?
No.
Okay.
Because somebody wants to confront these two.
Huh.
A little Studley
Our main
gentleman.
man.
Studley Steve Richards comes out. He's here to confront Raven. As we know, Stevie's been like the henchman of Raven before the BWO. He was his lackey, his punching bag. Well, Stevie's had success on his own, and he doesn't like what Raven has become. So he's here to give him the what have you. They face off in the ring. Stevie and Raven do. Raven just jabs Stevie right in the face. Raven wants Stevie to hit him. Hit me, Stevie, because he doesn't think he's going to. Stevie loads up the Stevie kick, tunes up the band, goes to kick Raven, but Chains makes the stop, choke slam to Stevie. Who makes the save? Lori Follington, which she could have been the groupie. Maybe now I'm thinking about it.
She might have been the
Maybe.
groupie.
Yeah.
Who is to catch everybody up. So Raven has, psychologically abducted Lori and Tyler Follington, who is the ex-wife and son of Sandman. But Lori is having no more of this. She gets in there. She slaps Raven. Then Raven DDTs the shit out of Lori. Oh my goodness. ECW.
The problem that I had with he does DDT the shit out of her, but like she doesn't sell very well. I don't expect her to. The one thing that drives me fucking nuts about it is she doesn't even like fully hit the mat yet, and she's already fixing her fucking dress. How am I supposed to believe the DDT if you're fixing your fucking dress? Right? I don't care. I don't care if your ass is out, right? I don't care if you're showing beeve, right? If the beeve's out, let the beeve run, right? You just got DDT'd. You got planted on your fucking head. Sell the DDT. Worry about the beeve later.
That should be on a t-shirt.
Worry about the beeve later. Yeah.
Yeah. Sell the DDT and then on the back. Worry about the beeve later.
That's not bad. Yeah.
Yeah. You'll never see it coming.
Look better than the coaster shirt, but
yeah, why don't you go fuck yourself, pal?
All right.
Doesn't Dreamer come back with a child?
Well, here, let me.
Feinstein does. Feinstein.
Tyler Follington, the son of Sandman. He comes out with his mom, witnesses his mom getting DDT'd. So my thought is, okay, Raven's going to DDT this little child. But that does not happen.
Sure.
Which would have ruled ass, but unfortunately didn't happen. Tyler goes backstage and grabs Tommy, who was consoling Terry Funk. Tyler's like, Tommy, you need to come help. Tommy comes back, bloody, gets in the ring, immediately chokeslam. So he's no help. So then Tyler goes back. He's like, who else could I drag out of the gutter? Oh, how about my dad? Sandman comes out with Tyler on his shoulders. Tyler has the Singapore cane in his hand. Cool visual, I guess.
Take your kid to work there.
Exactly. Sandy gets on the apron, chugs a beer, gets in the ring, gets goozled again. At what point do you not see the chokeslam coming, is what I asked. But maybe he did, because he counters with shots with the Singapore cane. Eventually knocks out Raven with the cane, and then a DDT. Then Sandman makes the pin. And then the ref is like, all right, you're close enough to Tommy Dreamer. 1, 2, 3. Sandman gets the win in a match that he's not in. Sensational.
Does he get a title shot?
Well, that is a damn good question. I don't know. I don't remember. You would think. Right?
That was the stipulation, but he's not in the match.
Now,
yeah.
I really, I know I'm the rules guy, but I don't mean to harp on rules, but as soon as Stevie's out and Stevie throws anything, right? That'd be a DQ. I mean, we've already had a count out.
No
here
DQs.
a couple times. Okay, no DQs, no count outs.
It's Extreme Championship Wrestling.
Extreme Championship Wrestling. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me.
No count outs.
But okay. Then I really got to take issue with a man not in the match winning the match. That's got to mean something, right? If nothing else means something, this has to mean something. The man not in the match won the match. That definitely, right?
I mean, I guess.
And then did Sandman win, or did Sandman and Dreamer win? Is Funk a winner? Does he get to go to the pay window too?
In the land of extreme, can you just substitute a guy? Does that work?
I mean, perhaps. I mean, did they sign some paperwork backstage as all of the hubbub was going on with Stevie and Raven? You know, maybe they made it. I mean, or could have what's his Bill Chetty? What's his name? Chris Chetty?
Chris the rookie.
Yeah, Chris Chetty. Could the rookie have just come out and pinned Raven and gotten a title shot?
Because they didn't ring the bell when Funker got wheeled out of there. So we're still talking a live match.
Now, because Sandman was the replacement for Funk, does that mean that Funk would get the title shot in this situation too? There's a lot of questions in this whole thing.
A lot of, I guess you got to tune in to ECW Hardcore TV this Saturday at 3 a.m. to find out. So, don't know. Lots up in the air. The roads are barely legal. It's a road. It's a windy road, ladies and gentlemen.
It should be under construction.
It is. But hey, Sandman and his son, I guess, have reunited. They hug. Sandman's bleeding because he's smashed his own head with a beer can, but he's hugging his own son. Or I don't know, his own son. He's hugging his son. Finally back together after months and months of Tyler being under Raven's spell. And maybe even more heartwarming in the ring, Tommy Dreamer helps up Stevie. They shake hands. I thought they were going to kiss, but they did not kiss.
I wrote that too.
It's very romantic.
They were staring each other down, like, waiting for somebody to make the move, right?
Right. Just kiss them. Just got to go for it, right?
Sometimes you just got to go for it.
Maybe both of them.
Man.
Well, maybe both of them aren't first move guys.
The old second move debacle. Yeah.
Funker was a first move guy.
Funker. He's one of those guys that just unzips. It's out there. What are you going to do with it? Right? That's a Funker.
Right.
No moves needed. Well, that's a lot. But the main event is here. Maybe kind of an underwhelming main event given what we've seen on this show so far. But we got Sabu wrestling again, taking on Chris Candido. I'm a big Skip guy. So no, I'm not mad at seeing old Chris Candido in the main event here. Big match for him. I'm wondering why it's Sabu. Like, was there somebody that no showed? Like, was he supposed to face fucking Hack Myers or something? I don't know. But
was Sabu supposed to face Hack Myers? And
Chris Candido was supposed to face Hack Myers in the main event. I think
you're getting Chris Candido, who's a stud, against Sabu. Why would you be disappointed by this?
I'm not disappointed. I'm just questioning. It's like, why is Sabu doing double duty when his first duty was already pretty significant? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was a significant duty. Yeah.
Two big duties.
Right. I agree with both of y'all because, this is the best match on the card. But, there might have been, maybe somebody missed the bus or something. I don't know. But
who could it have been that missed the bus? We know we all agree that Hack Myers is not a suitable replacement for Sabu.
We don't all agree on that, but okay, I hear you.
We all 100% agree.
Who did we have at the last one we did? The other Rotten, right?
Could have been Ian Rotten versus Chris Candido.
No, that would have sucked. Keep going.
JD Drake. What was his name? DC Drake.
DC Drake. No. JT Smith. No.
JT Smith.
No. No, absolutely not.
I'm trying to think who the hell is on the roster at this point. Dudley's, Pitbulls. No, we talked about them. I guess that's it, huh?
We've seen most of the. Franchise wouldn't make sense because they're an alliance.
Right. Bam Bam Bigelow. Maybe that's how he gets into the triple threats. I don't know where he's at.
See, Bigelow would have been So that would have been suitable, right? That would have been suitable.
That would have been Bigelow for sure.
I like the pissed off Skip, man.
Oh, he's still pretty new to ECW at this point, and so far he's been kind of like the not bumbling, but like the silly guy, like he's kind of like the Eric Young almost in this situation. Okay. But he comes off very serious in the promo before the match and in the match itself. I agree, great match. Candido cuts a promo in the beginning. He's like, he feels disrespected. He feels like Sabu can't wrestle his way out of a paper bag, is what he says. Like, well, tables don't fight back, but I do, or whatever he sounds like.
That's fucking horrible. I was like, Candido's he's from the South all of a sudden.
What? Give me one better.
Tables don't fight back, but I sure do. Check out these jumping jacks I'm gonna do right here. No, that's not Chris Candido.
Shit, that is a better one. Well, egg on my face. Yeah, good match. What'd you guys think about this little ditty?
Best match of the night. Easily best match of the night. Candido is a stud. Sabu is, what Sabu is, right? And I don't want to say Sabu is bad because I don't think he is. It's a very controlled car wreck when you're watching what Sabu does. Like, know what's going to happen. It's like almost watching those crash test cars. Like, what's going to happen, but like, it's awesome to watch. He botches a lot, but it's kind of like expected. Like, going into a Sabu match, like, it's part of like the charm of who he is he flies around like such a maniac that he's going to botch. It's just kind of part of the whole shtick. There wasn't much I didn't like about this match in itself. I think it was a great display of what Chris Candido can do in the ring, especially with a guy like Sabu. It seemed like their styles kind of mapped up and they worked well together. My big issues with this match are the finish. And the no sell of the Nards plow.
Man,
is there a no sell? Yeah.
We got to talk about that series of pile drivers. Fucking
brutal pile drivers. He goes one for the second rope. I wasn't sure if he was going for like a power bomb and he just like couldn't rotate him, or if he was going for a pile driver. But either way, it looked pretty brutal.
Nasty, yeah. Candido, he's gone way too soon. He looked great here. He got on the mic, kind of doing a Raven bit, getting after Sabu during the match. I kind of always like that.
That's a Jerry the King Lawler bit.
Well, Raven did it earlier in the night, so I was just
right.
All right, ties it all together.
I loved when Lawler wrestled and commentated his matches. That was one of the greatest things ever. But yeah, as far as Sabu goes, this is as crisp as you can get with Sabu during this era. Still sloppy, but he's hitting his spots. Jumps out into the crowd. All the hits, but you didn't care for the end, huh?
No, I thought the finish was underwhelming. Like, at one point there, it looks like they're setting up for a top rope P-bomb, and he throws the Nards plow and he goes flying, but he doesn't sell the Nards at all. Like, you have to sell Nards. If you get hit in the Nards, you have to sell Nards.
If you get Nards and then thrown off the top rope, would the back pain not be supersede the Nards pain?
There was a little bit of a disconnect there, because I think that the Nards plow was supposed to completely launch him off. And it's like he hit him with the Nards plow, and then he just kind of went over and you know what I mean? Like, it was not fully connected. But I think it was the Nards plow, and then off the top, I think you still sell the Nards. Because think about it. If you get slapped in the back at the same time you get slapped in the sack, you're grabbing your sack. You're not grabbing your back, right? That's the way that works.
Is that poetry? Is that a haiku you just said?
I'm a little bit of a wordsmith.
You're a bit of a linguist.
Yeah,
that's what they say about you. But no, I mean, look, this match in ECW, you don't get a lot of matches with like a good psychological story behind it. Whereas this one, so Sabu's already wrestled tonight. So in theory, Candido has him scouted. So there's a lot of spots where Sabu will go for the triple jump into the crowd, but Chris Candido knows it's coming, so he throws a chair at Sabu to stop it. And then Sabu goes for the triple jump moonsault in the ring, but he gets the knees up, and then he like counters a Sabu springboard kick of some sort into a back suplex. Like, just crispness like all throughout, and he's countering all of Sabu's hits. And so just good story told there. Just he had him scouted from the earlier match. And Chris, he laid it out in the promo. He's like, he's not for this hardcore shenanigans. Like, he's a wrestler, and he wrestles a lot. Pile drivers all throughout this match. Headlocks
from the south again.
There we go. But Chris, he's like, well, I think I could dip my toes into the hardcore shenanigans. So he goes for a triple jump of his own, but Sabu counters. He beats him to the punch with a flying leg lariat of some sort. So it's like Chris, like when he tries to go against what he does is when that's where his downfall comes. So just a fun thing to watch, fun story to unfold. And like you said, the finish was a bit like, of all the things Sabu does, like a triple jump, spinning leg drop. I guess it's just like a accumulation of all the other damage done, but Sabu gets the win with that little ditty. And Candido grabs the mic after the match. He's like, "Hey, you beat me. You won the match." I don't know. I'm AJ Styles now. I don't know what's happening. He says, he shakes his hand, hugs him. I would have bet my whole inheritance, my whole bank account that the triple threat was going to gang up on Sabu. But no, he just hugs him, shakes his hands. Hey, I don't care if you or Taz wins at Barely Legal, but as long as that motherfucker draws, we all get paid. So who cares? Whatever. Chris Candido.
There's something to be said about that sportsmanship with Sabu.
Okay.
Folks don't hit him with the cheap shot because he's a sportsman, right?
Big sportsman.
That's
what people say about Sabu. Homicidal, genocidal, sportsman. Sabu.
So the finish was definitely underwhelming. And then we get to the Candido promo at the end, which made me fucking laugh because we're back to the censor, not censor stuff. And through this, he's calling him he's like, "You fucking beat me on my fucking own. You're the fucking man. You're a fucking king. But you got some fucking balls." But they beep out balls. They beep out fucking the balls.
There's a guy named Balls on the show.
Thank you. There's a motherfucker named Balls, and they beep out balls. Well, he's saying every other word is fuck. You fucking king. You fucking beat me. You can't believe you fucking did. You're fucking unbelievable. You're fucking king. You're fucking Sabu. You're a fucking sportsman. I fucking love you. Fuck your mother. You got fucking beep. But fuck, man, you did it. Fucking, you did it. Like, what? Blew me away. And then the sportsman finish is kind of a weak finish to the whole show, right? There's a weak finish to the match. Then there's the promo. And then it's like, okay, we're fucking done. Because that's what Candido says. I'm fucking done. Don't worry about the rest of this fucking shit. We gotta clear this fucking ECW arena. We got the fucking janitors got to come out and clean up after all you slobby motherfuckers. Right. And then it's just over. It's just over.
You would think there'd be some other big angle with this as the main event. Like, why wouldn't Sandman and his son reuniting be the closing shot of the show?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. It would have made more sense to have this and the tag team match swapped, but it was probably just a matter of giving Sabu opened the show, giving
perhaps
time by the end. I don't know, but yeah, like I said, I think this is my favorite of the 3 ECW ones we've done. Lots of faults with it, but that's kind of it's part of the charm. Is it's very sloppy, but we saw some good wrestling there with that match, the main event, I guess, and with the Taz match, even though it was short.
And Balls Mahoney.
We saw Balls.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
He was here, yes. Little Balls peeked out. But if y'all had to grade this show from a scale of 0 to 100, what do you think you would throw at it? Okay. All right. Get your calculators out. Do your math.
Eliminator, Sabu.
Beep, boop, bop.
Fucking promos, not very good.
It's hard to... It's almost like this early ECW stuff.
Tommy Rich.
It's so close to being like just a home video, that it's kind of hard to grade it on the same scale. Because it always starts while something's going on already,
All right.
And then they just run into each other. But as far as an ECW show goes, like,
Just whatever's in your heart.
Maybe 76.
Whoa,
Slightly above average for an ECW
That's a
show.
C.
But you're grading it against ECW, right? We're looking at an overall grade, not a grade against ECW, right?
Like a weighted grade of some sort, yeah.
Are we throwing all
ECW.
the like TV shows and pay-per-views in the mix? I don't know.
No, just this show. I think 76 is good. You doing calculations over there, HK?
Yeah, I'm going through here because the opening match not really for me, and then you had some bad
pet out, huh?
Some bad promos. You got Tommy Rich. You got Balls.
Takes it down a peg.
You got
brings it up a peg.
Axel and Spike. BWO. Match didn't really do much.
Wow.
God, boy, Dudley's and the Gangsters. That was kind of rough.
Pretty good. Oh, okay.
Funk and Thomas versus Raven and Shane. Still don't know what happened there. Guy not in the match. Won the match.
None of them won, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Hated that fucking referee, too. Hated the fucking referee in the other match.
Not good.
Candido and Sabu. Candido and Sabu. That was a pretty good match. Good. Finish.
He's handsome.
I think I'd probably go with like an 11.
Fuck off.
11 out of 100, huh?
Wow.
Yeah.
So what do the other shows get? What does Just Another Night get?
I think that was a 4.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wait. We did have Taz and Smothers. I forgot to factor that in.
Right.
They got to be good because I was given the 11 based solely on Sabu and Candido. Taz and Smothers probably brings it up to a 19.
Jesus, that match almost doubled the score.
Yeah, I love
Taz, man.
I really love Taz. Yeah, I really love Taz.
Can't hate you. Can't hate that. Taz is a interesting little man, but yeah, that brings old CyberSlam to a close. Were you guys cybered and slammed from this event? Good stuff, right? Any other last nuggets?
I will say about half of it was throwaway stuff, right? But the other half, I think, was real good and representative of what ECW is all about, with the chaos and with good technical wrestling shit as well,
Well, I got to ask you then, Duke. I got to go back to your grade. You gave it a 76. If half of it was throwaway stuff, wouldn't then be 100% be a 50 grade?
Well, throwaway isn't,
I mean, I was great
always.
on a like a school type thing, right? 76, slightly above average, because I enjoyed this better than the last two that we watched.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I suppose if half of it was shit, it would be a 50%. But
if the other half was 100%, yeah. I'm just wondering how your grading scale works, because I mean, if it was based on a school grading scale, or we're doing school with it, then like this show would have earned a demerit.
You'll have to kind of clarify your grading system and
just show your work. HK, write it down. Get all the variables in play. Yeah. Let's see how you got to your conclusion. Scribble it down. Send it my way. We'll superimpose it.
Okay. Yeah.
There we go. Right there.
Gotcha. Yep.
But, good to be back. Though. I'm glad to be talking about this stuff again.
Always a pleasure having you boys on. This show may have been an 11, a 19, a 76, but what show is a 100? It's the Apron Bump podcast, not your show. No, it's the year of Duke and Rogue, of course, covering various timelines. You guys are covering like your last season. Like that's what that timeline is where you're in now. That was like my childhood in wrestling. That was like what made me a wrestling fan. So really good stuff. Where can everybody find you, sweet gentlemen? Love ya, kiss ya, listen to ya, all that stuff.
Oh, yeah, you can smooch us hard. All you got to do is DM us. If you slide into the DMs, and we'll smooch you. Not a problem. We're always up for smooching. You can follow us on the X. You can follow at GBW Pods. You can follow at Year of Pod. You can follow Tots Pod. You can go over on Facebook. We got a little Facebook group. I think it's called It's just look up Gorilla Brain Wrestling Podcasts. Also, as an Instagram for all you hip young kids out there that use the Insta. It's what to fucking look
Young
for,
kids,
right?
Yeah, find me on my Facebook. Yeah, MySpace too, asshole.
No, I don't have it in mind. Well, I'll look into it. We'll look into that. Is
Yeah.
Instagram not a hip thing anymore? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't have one.
Maybe.
You got an Instagram, don't you? You got an Instagram head.
I
Joe.
got one.
Look,
you
hip cocksucker.
Come on.
So you could follow, you can follow us across the socials there. Just look up Gorilla Brain Wrestling Podcast, and you can Spotify or Twitter. Or, what's the other thing? Apple Podcasts, Gorilla Brain Wrestling Podcast. You'll find Year of Duke and Rogue. You can go to Pro Wrestling Tees. You can get one of our sweet shirts. We got a Nards Plow shirt. We got a Nards Plow. And it's Pro Wrestling Tees, Gorilla Brain Wrestling. It's easy enough. You can also catch me live every Monday night with the Shining Wizards, which I know Handjob. You can catch Handjob over there every now and again.
I reach my hand in there every once in a while through the glory hole.
Yeah, I like that. I like when you glory hole us.
Yeah, we're covering the covering the glory hole here. Yeah, we're covering the WWF in 2001 after the merger happened with WCW, the invasion of ECW and WCW. Real interesting time. So appreciate it.
Yeah.
Check it out.
17 to 18.
Yeah.
Had a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? That reminds me. I don't know if I've brought this up. I take great umbrage to the besmirching that you guys put on Limp Bizkit. You guys are pretending like they're not a great band.
They're a fucking miserable band.
Okay, look. They're not good.
Nope.
But they're awesome. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Like they're not functionally a good band.
No,
but
right?
they rule. They rule ass though.
They don't rule ass. Don't use Jimmy King sayings when it comes to Limp Bizkit. Don't do that.
And I will rule you. It's another guy that rules ass. So that kind of just ties it all together.
Oh, Limp Bizkit's horrible, man. I'm disappointed in you. What's your favorite Limp Bizkit song? Oh, well, fuck you. All right, because I was going to open with that. You can eat a shit. Bob Backlund rules ass. He rules ass. And I don't know why you're shitting on Bob Backlund, right?
Stupid atomic drop. Stupid chicken wing.
You're fucked. Stupid chicken. You're fucked in the ass,
this
man.
Guy's 5'4" and he's a world champion.
5'4".
Are you 5'4" too?
He's at least 5'10". Come on now.
Yeah.
Don't be mean, Kyle.
Bob Backlund kicks ass. Shitting on him fighting Alex Shelley. You fuck yeah.
How do you beat Alex Shelley? Bob Backlund?
You got to eat a shit.
Well, because one of those things rules and one doesn't.
This asshole doesn't know how to appreciate the things that need appreciation. That's Bob
I'm going to put a poll on X. What's better, Bob Backlund or Limp Bizkit? And we're going to see what the results give us.
You can't trust those motherfuckers.
You
can't. You know what happened? Duke and I trusted these motherfuckers to tell us, hey, where should we go next? And you know what they said? TNA. It was a mistake. You can't trust the public. You put it in the hands of the public, they'll let you down every time.
I voted for TNA.
Fucking George Carlin said, the public sucks. Fuck hope.
Man, that almost took down the podcast, man.
Yeah,
I really leaving it.
Dark times.
So we took the power back,
Yeah. I had to start wearing long sleeve shirts when we were watching TNA, if you know what I'm saying.
What? What does that even mean?
That was a dark joke.
We're ending this. You can tell me after we're done. Once again, thank you to Kevin and Duke from the Year of Duke and Rogue podcast for joining me on this lovely, lovely episode. Go check out the Year of Duke and Rogue podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. All their socials in the description below, as are mine. Join the Discord, etc., etc., etc. Hey, you know what we got to do? You know what this part of the podcast prompts is my producer, Bartholomew. Hit that jingle, you stupid son of a bitch. WCW, ECW, WWF. Who's the hardest promotion? Eric or Vince or Paulie? I think we can agree, though. Heck, Myers is the shit. All righty then. The hardest promotion battle of 1997 continues. WWF, WCW, and ECW compete against each other throughout the best and the worst of the year. And we see who comes out on top. As of right now, as of February 22nd,
1997. So this is all up to February 22nd. So we're not taking into account anything that happens after. We're doing this as if we were living through it live. So CyberSlam 97. Where are we at? So first of all, let me just do an overview of this scoreboard here. The scores right now, WWF has -1 point. WCW in the lead with 34. And ECW in second with 25. Hot on Eric Bischoff's tail here. So if you're watching on YouTube, I'm sharing my screen. You can visually see what I'm doing here. If you're listening in audio land, I'll walk you through it as well. You know, first things first, before we get into anything, let's grade the show because this will factor into the score as well. CyberSlam 97. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we thinking? It's from a scale of 0 to 100. I think what did Kevin throw? A fucking 11 at this? I think that's a bit unfair given the standard that we've established here. Crossing the line from ECW the previous month got a 72. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't remember what happened on Crossing the Line. I remember like kind of enjoying it, but it was like one of those situations where it wasn't a great show. But I enjoyed it, which is really what matters at the end of the day. Just remember, because I want that to be kind of like the baseline for how I'm grading this. Pitbulls, triple threat in the main event. Terry Funk, Tommy Rich. Eliminators, Rob Van Dam, Sabu. Okay, we got some good stuff. Raven, Steve Williams. Okay. I would say it's pretty comparable. I don't think it's super different from the 72. Overall, better or worse than that. Super Brawl got an 81. In Your House Final Four got a 60. I think it's somewhere in between those two for sure. Crossing the Line got a 72. I think... I don't know if this was quite as good as Crossing the Line. I'm going to say... I'm going to type out 70 and see how that tastes. 70 for CyberSlam? I think... No, because there were some good storyline pivots on this show. But there also wasn't... I think Crossing the Line is when the Dudley Boys formed. Devon and Bubba. You also have the Pitbulls and Triple Threat stuff, whereas it wasn't as prominent on this show. I think CyberSlam gets a 70. I think 70 is fair. 70 is fair for CyberSlam. So what we do here is refresh this. So we look at each promotion and we see which promotion has the best average grade. As of right now, ECW has the highest average grade in a 71. So we go back to the overall scoreboard and we see that ECW already had that locked down. So they maintain those 15 points for having the highest average pay-per-view grade. Super show grade, whatever you want. I know it's not technically a pay-per-view. Best TV. Just overall best TV product. Right now we're tracking WCW as the best. Of course, they got Nitro. I haven't been watching like the worldwides and the Saturday nights, mainly because they're not on Peacock. And if they're not readily available, I'm not going to go out of my way. I'm not going to go find a fucking torrent to watch Roadblock versus fucking Dave Taylor or whatever the hell. So, best TV, Nitro. None of the TV is particularly great at this point from either company. Raw kind of sucks. I'm going to be honest. Like, they got the ECW invasion, which I guess technically is after this, so we can't take that into account. But even that, it's just like that stuff's good, but everything else is just dog shit, man. Nitro's solid. I mean, you're bookending the show with NWO as always, constant thread. But it's right as of this moment, it just feels like they're kind of in idle a little bit. Not a lot of progression over the past couple weeks. A lot of not squash matches, but like a lot of enhancement matches on Nitro. You'll be good for a good cruiserweight match or two, which is, it's something. ECW is a tricky one because it's a lot of highlights from these super shows, but it's also a lot of great promos. So we got to kind of weight it. They're weighted differently, I guess. I'm gonna stick it with Nitro. I don't think anything's changed enough to change it. So WCW Nitro, or WCW, maintains those 15 points for best TV, best in-ring. So there was some pretty good in-ring stuff on this show. Candido and Sabu was really good. Most stuff, even like Tracy Smothers Taz was good. A Gangsta's match was a Gangsta's match, but that's like what you expect, and they did that well. Guido was showing out here a little bit. Of course, you got the Eliminators and Rob Van Dam Sabu, which, like we said, it's not particularly smooth, but it's entertaining. So WCW, I think WCW's on a pretty good run, though, as in-ring goes. As far as in-ring goes. Of course, they always have that cruiserweight foundation, but you got guys like DDP that are doing really good stuff in-ring. Even the main event stuff, it's Hogan matches, but like they're doing it pretty well. One thing I'll say, though, one thing that's really been bugging me lately, it's not really a new concept, but it's just been it's been like glaring at me watching these TV shows, is that WCW and WWF, they are like allergic to clean finishes. Like, Jesus Christ. I'm talking like every match is a DQ or a count out, like, or it's just a schmozzy no contest. Like, it's every match, dude. Throw on a Raw from 1997. You're not going to see 1, 2, 3, unless it's like a squash match of some sort, right? Or if it is, it's like it's so much and like interference, and which I like a good bit of tomfoolery and shenanigans in my matches, but every single match wears on you a little bit. So, and WCW is pretty similar, not as bad, I don't think. No, yeah, they're as bad. I think ECW overtakes it. I think ECW had enough good matches on this show to overtake them. So ECW steals those 10 points away from WCW. So that puts ECW back in the lead with 35 points. WCW with 24. So we had a little swing there. Best out of ring, just overall, talking the storylines, characters, the promos, all that stuff. Segments. We're tracking ECW as the best right now. Yeah, I mean, WCW, they just had the introduction of Macho Man into the New World Order, but otherwise we're kind of spinning our wheels there a little bit. Horseman stories got some good stuff going. You got Rey Mysterio, William Regal, and Prince Ikea. You got some other stuff in the undercard. Luger and Giant. You got Sting. Sting still, where does he lie? That's where we are at in the timeline. So that's good stuff. ECW. I think overall ECW still maintains this. I mean, we saw the stuff with Sandman and his son reuniting on this show. Huge moment. The Pitbulls and Shane Douglas, that whole story. And just overall, all the promos in ECW are just so much better than the other companies right now. So I think ECW holds on to those 10 points for now. So now we move on to the best section. These are all the best of each category here. So best match of the year so far. We are tracking the In Your House Final Four four-way match as the best match of the year so far. On this show, so the question is, what's the best match on this show? It's either the tag title ladder match between the Eliminators and Rob Van Dam and Sabu, or it's Chris Candido versus Sabu. I'm inclined to go with the opening match. So the Final Four, like, I really enjoyed it, right? It had its problems, right? Like, I don't know. It's like over the top or pinfall, but it should have just been over the top. But then it was all over the top anyways. All the eliminations. I don't know. It kind of stretched itself a little thin. Like, it was just a long match. Most of it was good, but some of it wasn't. This ladder match here at the Eliminators and RVD Sabu was not technically good, but as I said in the show, it's one of the best clunky matches you'll ever see. Not a lot of botches per se. It was just very like rough around the edges, which I guess is not a bad thing necessarily, especially for ECW. Fits the theme. You got the storyline implications at the end too, with RVD not shaking the Eliminator's hands. Is there tension between RVD Sabu? So you got some storyline progression within the match as well. Do we go? Does this tag match overtake the 4-way here? Now, keep in mind, we are not at WrestleMania 13 yet. So I have a feeling this might be overtaken anyways. So, well, you know what? Fuck it. Let's do it. ECW, CyberSlam, 97. Eliminators versus RVD Sabu. Gonna have to make this smaller. Doot. Boom. ECW overtakes WWF. So WWF is further in the red with -6 points now. ECW still, or is they're more so in the lead now. So best wrestler of the year so far. Tracking DDP. So I have a feeling this year is going to be DDP Stone Cold. DDP and Stone Cold Steve Austin are going to be battling for this. I have a feeling. Maybe Sting gets in there. I don't know. Well, I guess the question is, from this ECW show, is there anyone that would be in contention to take over? You could throw out the Eliminators. You could throw out RVD. You could throw out Sabu. Sabu, I think, is a strong contender. Under the radar, kind of. Raven also is a guy. Taz has mostly had enhancement matches, though, which is what would keep me from labeling him as the best of the year so far, although he's still a strong contender with all of his character work. Just clicking through the card here, making sure I'm not forgetting anybody. DDP is coming off a really good match at Super Brawl with Buff Bagwell, and he's still a super hot character, so I'm going to leave it as DDP for now. So WCW holds on to those 5 points. Best character / storyline. We're tracking Sting. From this show, you got the Sandman Raven story, which I think had a good start and a good end. I'm assuming this is the end that we just saw. In the middle, it kind of just felt like it was an idol for a long time. Maybe not. I don't know. I still think Sting, just the overall intrigue that Sting creates every time he's on screen, I think is a testament to how well that character has been established and how interesting the storyline is. So I think Sting holds on to that for now. So WCW holds on to those 5 points. Best segment of the year so far. We are tracking DDP giving the Diamond Cutter to Scott Hall on Nitro as the best segment. Sandman reuniting with his son was a really good moment. What led up to that? Let me refresh my memory here. Okay, this was the aftermath of the Brian Lee Raven versus Terry Funk Dreamer match. Raven DDTs his mom, and then he's like, whatever. That whole aftermath of that match is pretty good. I don't know if it beats the significance of the Diamond Cutter to Scott Hall, though, because that pretty much made DDP. DDP is currently the wrestler of the year, mainly because of that segment. Maybe not mainly, but it's a very strong variable to DDP's success at this moment. So I can't really switch it out with anything at this moment. I don't think. Unless there's anything I'm forgetting. I don't think so. So yeah, we'll leave it at that. WCW maintains those 5 points. Worst match of the year. So now we move into the worst section. Worst match of the year so far. We are tracking the Royal Rumble Luchador 6-man tag. Nothing on this show was particularly terrible. There was some kind of like whatever matches. Nothing outright bad. So yeah, I think Lucha 6-man holds on to that for now. So WWF holds on to those -3 points. Worst wrestler of the year, Crush. From WWF, of course. Again, just clicking through the card, making sure I'm not forgetting anybody, but nobody comes to mind as being worse than Crush right now.
Brian, I don't mind Brian Lee, who is along the same vein as Crush, but he's just a kind of a better version. Yeah, I think that's pretty much, yeah. Nobody worse than Crush right now. So WWF holds on to those -3 points. Worst character / storyline. We are tracking the Nick Patrick, Randy Anderson. That whole thing. They had a match against each other on Nitro. Randy Anderson was fired by Eric Bischoff as he is going through cancer, and he brought out his family. Randy Anderson did, and Eric's like, fuck him. I'm paraphrasing. So I don't know how long that lasts, which, if we're a couple months down the line and we haven't seen any progression in that, it'll probably get switched out with something else, maybe something more significant. But as of right now, again, like, judging by where ECW is at this moment in time, nothing's really bad character-wise, I don't think. Storyline-wise, I think everything's at least solid. At the worst, maybe forgettable, but nothing's outright bad from ECW at this point. So yeah, I think WCW holds on to those -3 points as well. Worst segment of the year, Miss NWO. Again, I think I said this last time. I think we can pretty much set this in stone. I will be very surprised if anything outdoes the horrendous nature of Miss NWO from Sold Out. That was just... I'm still mad about it. I'm still mad I had to watch it. But WCW holds on to those -3 points. So that brings us to the end of this episode. New scores. ECW is back in the lead with 40 points. WCW in second with 24. WWF with -6, bringing up the rear. So we got Uncensored coming up next, followed by WrestleMania 13. WrestleMania will bring up a lot of interesting discussions with this scoreboard, I'm sure, as will Uncensored. So keep an eye on that stuff, but that's where we sit right now. ECW in the lead. And yeah, I think that's about all Daddy has for you guys today. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Love you. Always love you. It's kind of a long one today, but you like it. You love it. You want to just keep hanging out? I'll keep it rolling. How's your day been? Oh, yeah? Oh, okay. I don't know. I just saw that video of Steve from Blue's Clues on TikTok where he's just like, how have you guys been? And he's just sitting there like, oh, yeah. It's weirdly therapeutic, though. I might go check that out after this. Lord knows I need it. Lord knows I need it. Anyways, appreciate you guys tuning in. Love ya. Mwah. I'm hard.
Yeah. And the hardest, talk around and disregard it. Strip you off the ground, show you what hard is. Standing strong and proud, nothing can knock this. Let's get it started. It's the hardest, talk around and disregard it. Strip you off the ground, show you what hard is. Standing strong and proud, nothing can knock this.